Hello there, very good morning to you. Russia warns Europe they are ready for war.
President Putin's message came just hours before peace talks with Donald Trump's envoys.
The Ukrainian president says there are no easy solutions, but is counting on Europe and America to bring an end to the conflict.
Elsewhere, a parliamentary inquiry says systematic failures led to the Chinese spy case collapsing, but there is a risk that they could be repeated.
Rachel Reeves has been hit by a parliamentary rural rebellion over inheritance tax on farmers.
Scottish Labour is to call on the government to urgently clarify its stance on whether an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland will be held.
Having children, is it selfish to have them later in life? We'll be debating that later in the programme. If you have thoughts or an experience about that, then please do let us know.
Sport this morning, a crazy 9-goal thriller at Craven Cottage last night as Manchester City beat Fulham 5-4. There was only 4 second-half goals. The Spurs get a last-minute equaliser at Newcastle. And in snooker, Ronnie O'Sullivan is knocked out of the UK Championship in the first round.
There's some winter sunshine for many of us today, but also a few showers, particularly towards the north and west, with a bit of rain arriving later. Stick around to find out the details.
On this Wednesday morning, a very good morning to you. Thank you for your company. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. Happy Wednesday. It's the 3rd of December, and it's someone's birthday.
Who could it be?
Who could it be?
Whose
Oh, my
birthday
goodness,
could
it's
it
not
be?
easy, is it? I didn't know.
It's the birthday boy, Mr. Eamonn Holmes.
Oh, Ellie,
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you. It'll
birthday.
come to a time where you'll think birthdays, what are the points? Because that's what I think.
Oh, no.
Now, come on.
At least I'm still alive.
You've got to be happier than that. It's your
Yeah,
birthday.
full of the joys of spring, aren't you? Happy birthday. You are one of my favourite bingo calls as well. Congratulations. Can you guess which one it is?
The 2 fat ladies.
No,
Was
that's 88. He's certainly not
Oh,
that.
right,
No,
oh,
no,
right.
no,
You're not
that's a
that
bad
yet. You're not
start.
that.
Yeah, no, it's not that one.
What's-
You can't say that anymore anyway.
Oh, no, but Ellie's been
Okay.
very good today.
not Heinz varieties.
Ellie has slipped us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love these.
Did you make
Yeah.
these?
I bet
Yeah, I made them last night. I spent ages up making these. I don't
Did you
actually know
really?
what they are.
And she sent me a box of chocolates as well. Scott.
Oh, that's nice.
And a lovely card. This is my first card. to
Oh,
open. Good to
that's
see.
nice. There you go.
We'll see. Happy birthday.
Oh, is any money inside? No?
I should have filled it with cash, shouldn't I?
Oh, that's...
Oh, there you go.
It's very kind of you. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Happy birthday. Hope
Happy
you have a
birthday.
lovely day.
Hope I do.
It's a shame you're working, God love you. You needed to have a day off today.
Ah, well, tell that to the boss.
No. What time do you wake up? 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh.
What, to
Oh,
open
happy
your
birthday.
presents? Is that what it was? You got up extra early to open your presents?
Aye.
That's nice.
Let's not talk about birthdays anymore.
What, not at all?
Not at all.
I think we're going to have a fun-packed day. Lots of birthdays,
Balloons.
lots of nice messages, cake, balloons. It'll be lovely.
I'm sure it will be.
You'll learn
Sure
to love it.
Will
I think
be.
he loves it.
We'll make it a
Should we
birthday
set
to
up a
remember it.
special hotline for people sending wishes and greetings?
I think
well,
so.
And money, is there a bank account number, anything like that that can send?
PayPal.
Gifts
PayPal
and
link.
money, all that sort
But
of-
if you would like to send in a birthday message to Raymond, you can. gbnews.com/you'll say, and we're going to share as many as we can
I
throughout
love
the
the way
programme.
he pretends not to like it.
pretends
That's
he
it.
hates
Oh,
it.
no.
He loves it. Anyway, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Happy
indeed,
birthday.
both of you. 3 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Vladimir Putin says he doesn't want war with Europe, but is ready to fight.
While speaking after investment forum in Moscow, the Russian president says the Europeans do not have a peaceful agenda and are on the side of war, and seeks demands from the war in Ukraine that they are not acceptable to Russia.
Well, former senior British military advisor Major General Chip Chapman, we're delighted to say, joins us now and talking about this. Chip, what's your reading? What's your reading about what you're hearing overnight?
Well, the first thing is that we've got nowhere near an agreement for a peace settlement. And the problem we've got is President Trump wants a humanitarian peace. It's go home, stop the killing, be done. And on the other end, you've got Ukraine, who want a just peace, their sovereignty and independence. And you've got Russia, who wants a surrender peace. It wants to break Ukraine's sovereignty, wants them to cede the Donbass as a minimum, and to have a neutral Ukraine. So I don't think we're anywhere near a peace settlement. I think you have to put what Putin said about he doesn't want war with Europe, but he's ready to do so in context that at the point of negotiations, Putin always makes these threats. He's done it with grain, he's done it with energy, he's done it with nuclear weapons. It's often a negotiating tactic to try and scare people. The fundamentals are still there and difficult on both sovereignty and security guarantees. So I don't think in 2025 we're going to see anything like a denouement and a peace settlement coming.
Chip, I just wonder what he's giving up, what he's trading, what he's conceding to. I mean, you know, he's taken land, but he doesn't want to give that up. He wants more. He wants to keep that, and he wants more for nothing.
Well, we often talk about the Gromyko tactics of negotiation from the Russians, who was the foreign minister under Brezhnev, and that is threefold. Firstly, demand the maximum, something he didn't have before. Secondly, make threats, which he did yesterday. And thirdly, don't give an inch, because there are people in the West who'll always give you something, and in the end, you'll end up with a third or half of something you didn't have before. And we're seeing that at the moment. There's consistency in the Russian line. And really, we've got a triangle here, which is rewards, pressure, concessions. Putin wants concessions. He's under very limited pressure, and he wants rewards. And that triangle shape has not changed and won't change until America give the 500% on the sanctions. That there's a bill ready to go in Senate if it's approved by President Trump. That would be the next lever that the Americans could play should they wish to do it, but they don't seem to want to at the moment.
And Chip, what's your assessment of where we're at in terms of the peace talks? We've seen Zelensky in Ireland this week, haven't we, saying that he would, of course, like to see peace. He's ready for a meeting with Mr. Trump, obviously saying everything depends on discussions. And meanwhile, we've got Mr. Kushner and Mr. Witkoff working very hard. I think there's been like 6 meetings that have gone on with Russia. It feels like things are in motion here, but nothing's happening.
Well, the object of war is a better peace, but from whose perspective and whose rules get to apply. And that is the sticking point. The 2 big substantive issues are the sovereignty of Ukraine, or breaking the sovereignty of Ukraine, and what the European role or American role should be in security guarantees. 6 meetings in historical terms is not a lot. It took 500 meetings to unlock the Korean War in 1953. It took 5 years to get to a peace settlement in the Treaty of Paris for Vietnam. So to think that you're going to have a denouement to this and a settlement just by 1 or 2 meetings in Moscow is probably not realistic.
But then Trump's not being realistic, is he? I mean, you know, he's the man, the business deal, he wants to seal the deal. He can, you know, sort things out in a day or 2 days, whatever, are always his claims, and not to be.
Well, I think part of the problem is he does see this through a prism of economics, that there are economic deals to be done and that everyone could profit from that. The fallacy in that is that wars are fought for political objectives, and the political objective of Russia here is to at least break the sovereignty of Ukraine and have a neutral Ukraine, which can be a vassal state of Russia. If you don't see it through that prism, the political prism, which is why wars are fought, you have a problem. So the economic prism, which is the one which seems to drive President Trump, is not one that you would recognize in terms of international relations. But we have this volatility in international relations at the moment of whether the international rules-based order is still there for the future.
OK. Chip, sorry?
I was just going to ask one more thing, Chip, just before we let you go. Just to slip one more question in.
We need you in the negotiation talks.
Chip, when we hear from Putin saying that Russia is ready for war, it does make you think, doesn't it? Would Britain be ready for war? Would we be on a war footing?
Well, we're not, but there is a fight tonight capability. But I think the real question is, Britain is only part of NATO. NATO is probably stronger since the invasion in 2022, particularly with the accession of Sweden and Finland. So the deterrent value of NATO is still strong. As long as you have that deterrence value, then the consequences for Russia would be too extreme.
Chip, appreciate your analysis. Thank you very much indeed. We'll leave it there. Thank you. 9 minutes past 6 o'clock, talking about wars. There's going to be a rural war. Could there be a rural rebellion over the budget? Labour MPs last night urged the government to reconsider its plans to impose inheritance tax on farmers. That's despite the House of Commons voting in support of the proposal. yesterday.
Well, let's speak now to political commentator Duncan Barks, who joins us in the studio. Morning to you, Duncan.
Morning.
Now, this was interesting last night, wasn't it? Because it was voted through, but it was described as a mini mutiny. What was going on?
Mutiny. So this goes back to, and just some context here, this goes back to last year's budget, where Rachel Reeves introduced a 20% rate on agricultural land and businesses worth more than £1 million. Hit the farming industry, as we've seen on GB News, pictures of tractors in Whitehall, people protesting about it. In the budget that happened last week, she announced that any of the £1 million APR and business property relief allowance that goes unused will be transferable between spouses and civil partners. Now, that's a little bit of comfort, but not enough comfort for farmers and their families. That was what the vote was about last night. What is really interesting about this, use the term mini mutiny, is that we're starting to see Labour MPs in predominantly rural constituencies going, look, our inbox is rammed, right, with letters and emails from farming families just going, this is so unreasonable, it is unfair, it's going to devastate our family and our livelihoods and our businesses, you need to do something about it. These Labour MPs are starting to think, they might not vote for me next time, so consequently they're kicking off a little bit. So what we saw last night is a big chunk of predominantly rural Labour MPs who abstained in the vote. So whilst it got through, and over the last 5 days we've seen ongoing debates around the budget and various votes and various things are outlined by Rachel Reeves being voted on, whilst it still goes through, this has been seen as quite significant because potentially there is a rural rebellion brewing. And you've got organisations like the NFU who are also saying, look, you must review this when we talk about what was announced in last year's budget. So it's really interesting. For the record, the Conservative MPs voted against. And as I say, there were a rump of Labour MPs who abstained. So this pressure is slowly starting to build internally.
And do you know, Duncan, when you think about it, the revenue that they will raise, or they plan to raise, it's inconsequential.
It is, and this gets us into the whole area where I think fundamentally the Labour Party don't understand the countryside or rural life, right? The majority, the rump, if you like, of their MPs tend to be in metropolitan or city areas. They just don't get it. They get in with a chunky majority in last year's election, representing some rural areas, and it's just kind of like, oh, well, we can go after the farmers, because there is this view, I think, incorrectly, that farmers are rich land barons driving around in the latest Range Rover, and that's not the case. They might be asset rich, but they're cash poor. So I think fundamentally this is a massive problem that's coming down the tracks, and we're going to see more and more of this. And it also gets us into the area of food security, because if you follow this through, what happens is you will have farming families who can't, sadly, if there's a tragedy, if there's a death in the family, if the farmer dies or whatever, if they have to pay the inheritance tax on the land and on the farming estate, they can't. So they have to sell the land. Consequently, that land may not be used in the future for growing food, which then is a massive problem for this country.
But it doesn't seem to be a massive problem for consecutive governments, because they just don't seem to have the value of food security. There doesn't seem to be such a concept as food security.
No. And I mean, sadly, you don't have to go too far back in history to realise, and I'm talking about World War II, that, when this country is in turmoil, we need to be able to be producing our own food, right? You can go back 100 years and you can see that for yourself. And you're right, Eamonn, successive governments have just not considered it as a priority, because we've got far too used to effectively importing food, cheap food, from elsewhere around the world.
And Colombia and Venezuela and goodness knows where.
So this is an issue. It's not just one of these things where it matters to you if you're in the countryside. It should affect all of us here, and we should all be concerned about it. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not this mounting pressure on Rachel Reeves has any impact on changing the initial
Duncan,
policy.
I always think, we're looking at tractors there and the protests coming into London and whatever, and you look at their job. I mean, I worked as a farming reporter for 2 years, so, I got a lot of feel and smell and taste for it and whatever. I tell you what, I wouldn't do it.
It's hard graft.
It's interesting you should say that. So I used to be an Arundel young farmer in my early 20s. So I wasn't part of a farming family, but I used to socialise and work on a farm in my early 20s. And it's a day which is 24/7. It's 365 days a year. You can't go on holiday.
It's thankless as well.
Because there's no one to look after the farm, unless you're really lucky that you have some people who might be able to assist you. If you're ill, you have to get out of bed in the morning, because there are animals that need feeding. And this is the livelihood that I don't think certainly a lot of Labour politicians don't understand, or indeed a lot of politicians don't understand, which is why I think over the years there have been missed opportunities to support the farmers in this country.
Duncan, just before we let you go, can we ask you about the Chinese spy case? Because a parliamentary inquiry says that systematic failures led to its collapse, but also warned that this could all happen again.
It's a bit of a nightmare, this. So we've talked about this extensively on GB News, this collapsed case involving two gentlemen, Christopher Cash and Christopher Berry, who faced allegations of espionage. For the record, they both deny any of these allegations and still maintain their innocence. There was concerns about the case. The case collapsed. There's a security committee in Parliament made up of MPs and peers. It's called the Joint Committee on the National Security Strategy. And they spent the last 6 weeks trying to work out what went wrong here. And the bottom line is, in layman's terms, it's cock-up, not conspiracy, right? There was a view that the government was like, we don't want to upset our relationship with China here, so we're not going to call them an enemy of the state or a threat to this country. The findings from this committee are saying, look, the whole case was shambolic, the handling of it. The MP said the process was beset by confusion and misaligned expectations and inadequate communication between the government and the Crown Prosecution Service. So the findings are saying, well, actually, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to improve these relationships with the government and CPS. There are missed opportunities to make this case watertight. However, there will be people, particularly in the Conservative Party, who have big concerns, people like Ian Duncan-Smith and Tom Tugendhat, who have got big concerns about our ongoing relationship with China and the risk of our security as we get closer to China. And then this does get us into this whole area, and we've talked about this before, about the Chinese mega embassy. Which, I mean, they were due to make a decision on this earlier this year, and the can has not just been kicked down the road, it's been booted into the next town. It's now January the 10th for this decision to be made, and the concern about it, just so people are clear, is they want to have this very big embassy, the biggest embassy in Europe, based right next door to the Tower of London and near sensitive data cables.
OK, Duncan, thanks. Duncan, you're going to be back just after 7 o'clock today. We're going to continue these thoughts and gauging folks' reaction. So you can have your say, get in touch, and we'll reflect that on the programme and to Duncan later on. So don't be shy.
Thanks,
have
Duncan.
your say.
Now, time is 17 minutes past 6. Let's take a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning. And Holly Willoughby, the TV presenter, has admitted breaking a man's neck in a car crash. The TV presenter pled guilty to knocking a rider off his scooter when she failed to indicate in her car.
Royal rents are under fire after the Andrew Royal Lodge scandal, with an official inquiry being launched into the Crown's estate properties and those who live in them. So we'll be talking about that with our royal reporter later on in the programme. And the Princess of Wales has talked about the season, and she is saying, let's embrace, well, not him. I think we can cut off him now. Yeah, we've done that, nothing to do with him. The Princess was talking about this season and why...
Her Christmas message,
Christmas message, and how we do feel different and we should feel different and we should embrace, as she says, the gentle gestures and the softness of this season. And, you know, when you think about the real message of Christmas, about loving your neighbour and, you know, giving rather than receiving and all that sort of thing, and I think loving children as well, it's a great time of the year for that, so we should see it through. And that's why we were talking yesterday about films. And that's why films like It's a Wonderful Life or A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it brings it back, doesn't it, to the true meaning of Christmas?
Yeah, they have the message of what it's about and who you need around you and why you should be good to your fellow man and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's a lovely message from the Princess of Wales. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the programme. Now, do stay with us. Still to come, a 9-goal thriller as Man City beat Fulham 5-4 at Craven Cottage.
It was.
We're going to have the very latest.
Yes, but first we're going to have a look at the weather forecast
are we?
And see how Christmassy that's going to be.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Well, we're looking forward to having Paul Coit in. A big night of football last night.
Birthday celebrations continue.
Why?
With Paul Coit. The whole gang back together. We can celebrate.
If you say so.
Yeah. He pretends he
gang,
hates it, but he absolutely loves it.
the whole gang back together. Eamonn, Ellie and Mr. Paul right after this.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
And here is another Christmas card, just brought in by my good friend here.
You mean a birthday card?
Paul Coyte.
Or it's a birthday card.
What
It's a
did I
birthday.
say? Well,
You said a Christmas
It's a
card.
Christmas card.
Oh, right.
Oh, it could be both. No, I bet that's annoying when people give you both.
Could be both. Here it is.
That's a good card.
That's a good card.
It says the man, the myth, the legend, if you're on radio and you're wondering what it says. That's a nice
The man,
card.
the myth, the legend, the cult.
So that makes two cards.
Thank you very much indeed. So we are going to give you the giveaway. Now, that's what I should be getting as a birthday present at all.
Well, you can't enter.
No.
Sorry.
So, but it could be you.
But you can.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
It's the big one. Your chance to win a whopping £85,000 in tax-free cash. The largest cash prize we've given away to date. That's like over £7,000 a month extra in your bank account each month for 12 whole months. That's a year of yes. Yes to holidays, yes to treats, yes to shopping trips, yes to home improvements. What would you say yes to? For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing the 9th of February 2026. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, let's get into the sport now. We've got Paul here. We had 9 goals at Craven Cottage.
What a game.
Last night.
Wow.
How amazing.
It was.
But the home team scored 4 of those.
They did.
And still didn't win.
Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. So Man City went 5-1 up. So you're thinking this is a cakewalk. It's absolutely easy. But then Fulham get another one. Then they get another one. Then they get another one. So honestly, just a crazy game. So it ended up 5-4. They had 12 minutes to get an equaliser, which they never got. But what a game. Now, how do you think Pep Guardiola, because we saw Pep yesterday, didn't we? And it was like...
He didn't have a lot to say for
He didn't have a lot to say, very short. And how do you think he would react to 5-4?
Well, I don't think he would be too happy. I mean, I think to go 5-1 up, you would be absolutely ecstatic, incredible. But then, you know, to then concede all those extra goals.
See, I would imagine there's all this business and I think you may be surprised. Have a look at it. Here's Pep. Here's Pep.
Did you enjoy, guys? Huh? Yeah, nice, huh?
Did you?
Me?
Did you enjoy it?
My God, I lose my hair.
Stop.
My God. I thought the players, they were happy to work with me, but today I prove it's not.
Happy chap.
I don't think I've ever seen him quite so happy. And the thing is, all the journalists there, you can see, because he's so spiky, he says something, and it was like maniacal laugh. Made a joke. But, you know, he seemed very happy about that, whether he was truly happy, but it's nice to see him
very relaxed.
looking cheerful, don't you think?
Yes, Very definitely.
Good, okay.
As cheerful as me with your card. I'm thinking that's a very good message, isn't it?
It's a lovely message. Yeah, lovely message.
You should have seen the one you nearly got. And
You
then
should
I
have seen the one you nearly got. Yeah. We were comparing what cards to get, weren't we?
We were. Erling Haaland broke a record, though, yesterday. The quickest player to reach 100 Premier League goals, which is not bad going, is it? So when it comes to the list of the greatest goal scorers in the Premier League, number one is...
Harry Kane.
No, Shearer.
Shearer 260, Harry Kane 213.
Is that second?
Yeah, Harry Kane.
That's really not a bad guess from me.
Excellent, because he left and gone to Bayern Munich, so if he comes back, maybe he'll break it. And who's third? You know that. You can get this. You definitely can get this.
Is it a Liverpool player?
No.
United player?
Well, yes.
Ooh, now that's an interesting
David
one.
Beckham.
Is it Giggsy?
No.
David Beckham.
No.
Oh.
The show will not continue, by the way, until we get
That's
this.
all I know about
It could
Manchester
be sometime.
United.
Andy Cole?
No. You're missing one. You're missing a big... Yes.
Ruud van Nistelrooy?
No. I think you could say... You went Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
Oh,
Wayne
gosh,
Rooney.
Yes.
Wayne Rooney, 208.
Yes, that was how stupid of me.
There you go. I say, ever since you turned 66, what the hell's going on here? I just don't know what's going on.
He's distracted because he's the birthday boy.
Now, the other game, Newcastle 2, Spurs 2, eases pressure a little bit, I think, on Thomas Frank. Although Christian Romero, who's the centre-back, was the one that scored the 2 goals towards the end. Crazy VAR decision to give them a penalty, but we won't mention that. And Bournemouth 0, Everton 1 was the other one.
What's happening tonight?
There's lots of games going on tonight. Have you got the list? There's 6 games going on this evening? So there's a full Premier League programme right the way across the week. Have you seen the front page of The Sun? Have you got The Sun there? About the FIFA making money. Again, it's just because the World Cup draw is coming up on
Great
Friday.
game, robbery, World Cup plans. So tickets are more expensive than they've ever been.
Yeah, I mean, FIFA are just making a fortune. So where they were doing this pricing where...
So these are official prices, this is not rip-off.
Yeah, well, there's official, but the thing is, it seems that they're quite happy with other people selling them as well. But the deal is that if you buy a ticket which is resold, then FIFA are quite happy to do that because they get 15% from the person that's buying it and they get 15% from the people that are selling them as well. So they are making a fortune. There's people complaining. So if you go online, you can't get a ticket even now for less than £1,000, and the tickets people are actually selling already tickets for the World Cup final, £33,000, and that's now. And trust me, when it gets to closer, then it's going to go up and up and up. But I just wonder, there's so many games, there's 64 teams, there's so many games that are going to be going on in the States. I just wonder if it's going to be one of those situations where they're going to have half-empty stadiums because people are just charging too much, and then all of a sudden they sort of drop right down. But anyway, they're making a fortune out of it.
Snooker and Ronnie O'Sullivan out first round UK Championship.
Quick one on that. Ronnie, we never know what we're going to get from Ronnie. 6-4, lost the first round to Zhu Yulong. It's his 50th birthday on Friday, so I have a feeling that maybe he just wants to spend his 50th birthday.
So Ronnie's a Sagittarian as well.
Ronnie's out, yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. Oh, you're into your star signs?
Well, I think I'm a typical Sagittarian, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about star signs.
People don't do that anymore. We used to. Everybody would know everybody's star signs, but I think only people do now. I don't know what my kid's star sign is. I don't even know that.
No.
Actually, I don't even know when my kid's birthday is.
Do you know who your kids are?
Where are they?
When's your birthday?
27th of February.
I don't know why I asked, because I don't know star signs, so I couldn't tell you what you are.
I'm a
Well,
Pisces.
have a think on that, everybody.
That's why we get along.
We go to our daily reflection.
Day 3.
Hi, I'm Jordan and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. At Christmas, I often hear the slogans, Christmas is the season for joy, it's the season for giving. And there's something about Christmas, isn't there, that makes us feel more inclined to generosity. My sister-in-law, a few years ago, tried to sign up to a soup kitchen to work with the homeless and bless the homeless on Christmas Day. She tried this for a few years on the row, and every time she came to sign up, she had been too slow to sign up because they'd already filled all the need that they had. And isn't it interesting that this time of year we are more generous than usual? That people are more inclined to give, to look after the poor and the needy. And in the book of Isaiah in the Bible, often God calls his people to look after the poor and the needy. And we remember on Christmas when Jesus was born, he was given to those who are in need of him. And as a Christian, I believe I really needed Jesus. And so I wonder whether some of the reality of that comes into this season, comes into this time of year, and whether, in fact, how I might be more generous to others because of the generosity that God has shown me, how much better this Christmas season might be.
That's day 3 of the GB News Advent Calendar.
OK. And day 1 of what's happening with the traffic on this Wednesday, the 3rd of December. Here you go.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M8 westbound junction 4 on slip is closed for essential roadworks, carried out during both daylight and nighttime hours to improve road conditions. Motorists are advised to follow the clearly signed diversion route to avoid delays. Meanwhile, significant congestion persists across Nottingham, resulting in delays on the A453 southbound, particularly between the A52 and the junction connecting to the M1, although traffic flow is anticipated to improve soon. In rail updates, Northern buses are temporarily replacing train services between Corkicle and Whitehaven due to ongoing maintenance work. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, the number of children missing from school has reached almost 40,000. We're going to be discussing that and much more in the papers with Norman Baker and Penny Smith. Morning, you two. Chat to you in just a few minutes.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co. with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here.
GB News, Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device, and as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live, every night at midnight.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
No.
Sorry, just like have a cough.
Here with Holmes Baker and Penny Smith, and they're about to review the newspapers and the stories that are affecting them this morning that they want to talk about. Now, the first thing we want to talk about, Penny, is here we are. We're into December, and the pressure is on not only about getting presents for people, but I think the big stress is wrapping presents for people.
See, is it just me? I actually like wrapping.
That's just you.
Oh, no. Do you know what? If I could send somebody else out to buy the presents and then just wrap everybody's presents.
We should be
I'll
tag
come and
team.
see you then.
Yeah.
Can we? Can we do this?
You can do all the wrapping.
Ellie, and I reckon you get a great gift. I like a budget, mind you, just so that you know.
Well,
no.
We may fall out.
Oh, OK. You good on a budget?
No, he's not either. We're both spending.
So this story is in the paper today. It's in the Daily Mail. It says, we lose our festive cheer 16 minutes into wrapping gifts. They say that not finding the end of the sticky tape is the exact moment the festive frustration kicks in.
My back hurts when I'm wrapping.
Well, what's wrong with you?
No, you don't. You have to get an ironing board and set the ironing board up and then wrap.
No, hold on a second. Are your presents all really small? How do you... There's unwieldy things...
Well, you can,
no, it's not a bad idea.
But...
It's not a bad idea.
Making this up.
No, I just said that's a good idea.
This is a good way of doing it.
Right.
It's stood upright.
But a better way of doing it, Norman, is that I swear to you, I spent a lot of time last week trying to hunt out somebody, or an organisation, a store, whatever, who would wrap presents for you.
Oh.
And it can only happen if you buy the presents in that store.
Yes.
And they'll have certain branding associated with it, whatever, which wasn't good. But there are very, very few outlets. However, I did find one that can wrap presents for you. And so I started...
Well, it says here in the Mail that the person who carried out this poll, the 16% figure which we've had quoted, teamed up with the Motor Ombudsman to launch a drive-through wrapping service, whatever that is.
Yeah.
A drive-through wrapping. They probably will do. I have to say that on sticky tape point, we can't call it sellotape, can we? Sticky tape, sticky back plastic if you're on Blue Peter, and it was in those days. And once upon a time, my mother-in-law gave me for a present a sellotape dispenser.
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird present, but actually it's been terribly, terribly useful because I never have to worry about the end of the sellotape now. It's always there.
They are very good,
That's a good
though.
gift.
Or you find something that you can hack. It's just, anything that stands up. I don't know, an old tray or whatever, and you just hang it on there. So what I do when I'm wrapping is I have three bits of tape there hanging down, and then
your strips are organised.
Oh, they're already cut,
yeah.
so that I've already cut the strips.
Yeah.
And then I hang the roll on the end of the whatever I found, a plastic load of shelves or whatever, and then you just fold. Take the thing off, and at least that's the rudimentary things. Then you can do a bit more sellotape after that.
There you go.
Anyway.
I do feel like it's men that struggle with the wrapping more than women, though.
No,
Just to
that's
throw
not
that
true.
generalisation out there.
That's not true, no.
Really?
We're
Do you like
organised.
wrapping?
Well, I do it efficiently, yeah.
I do it efficiently. See, as I said, I actually enjoy it.
It's an art.
What
right.
can I say?
Let us know what you think.
Let's talk, Norman, about the situation with Ukraine and Russia. How's it shaping up? Front page of the Telegraph, this one.
Well, this is much less happy than wrapping presents, I'm afraid. This is... Putin said he's ready for war. I think it's a psychological pressure. This is what they say. They don't think he's really ready for war. What he's doing, he's trying to force a capitulation of Ukraine. What he says, Europeans are ready for war. What he means is Europeans aren't agreeing to dismantle Ukraine. That's what he means by that. And he's putting pressure on the Americans, I think. He knows Trump wants a peace deal, and he thinks if he puts pressure on this way, then Trump will cave in and agree with him on the dismantling of Ukraine and the handing over the Donbass to Russia. That's what it's about. So this is a psychological step, I think.
And driving a wedge between the Europeans and the
Exactly so, yeah. And whether it will work, I don't know. But, I mean, Trump desperately wants peace. I think he wants a peace prize still. He's still got that in his head. And if he thinks he can get it, he may well go for it. But, I mean, it'd be disastrous if Putin gets his own way on this because, you know, today Ukraine, tomorrow somewhere else.
Well, that's what they were saying in the papers. They were talking about other countries closer being very worried.
OK, as the time approaches 6:45, we are going to go to the break and we'll be back talking about why so many youngsters don't go to school. The figure is on the up after this.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The weather's looking quite mixed across the Mediterranean through tomorrow and much of this week. There's further heavy rain towards the east affecting Greece, Albania and other nearby nations. Could see some severe thunder, landslides, other impacts as a result because it has been so wet recently. Other areas will also see some rain at times. There will also be some drier, sunnier bursts, but it's often going to be relatively unsettled and there is a bit more rain for many to come into the weekend.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
I think a lot of you at home are going to be quite annoyed with this. Now, Tesco, the big supermarket chain, appears to have got rid of the famous Christmas trees, instead renaming them evergreen
trees.
Evergreen
There's
trees.
the evergreen tree.
Here we are. So if you're listening on the radio, these are pictures of their boxes of artificial Christmas trees without the word Christmas on them at all, instead calling them evergreen trees. There are still a number of Christmas trees available called Christmas trees. But I think it has clearly annoyed quite a lot of people. Why do you call them evergreen trees? Can't you just call them Christmas?
Just call them Christmas trees. I call them Christmas trees even outside of the time of Christmas. If they look like a Christmas tree, I call them a Christmas tree, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And the Conservative leader of the London Assembly, Susan Hall, she's told The Telegraph, it's Christmas. It's a Christmas tree. People don't tend to put up green plastic fir trees for any other reason. It's all stupid nonsense about offending other people and other religions. Well, below that, this is supposed to be a Christian country. We have Christmas. Let's celebrate it, says Susan Hall.
Actually, other religions are not offended.
No, they're not.
The vast majority of Muslims, they're not in the slightest bit bothered and actually will join in those celebrations as well. It doesn't offend them. But what you've got are marketing divisions within these big companies where you've got Tarquin and Tabitha who feel that we must, you know, do what we can do to not offend the great British public. But the great British public are the ones that are actually buying the product and they're not in the slightest bit offended.
Can I just say it offends me that we've got Christmas already and it's not December.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Now, Norman Baker and Penny Smith reviewing the newspapers today, and the Mail's carrying a story today, Penny, about how many children are missing from school.
Yeah, they're saying it's increased by a fifth from the year before. 39,000 is how many children are missing from education.
How and why, do we know?
Well, they're saying that there's a number of reasons, of course. So they're saying that some weren't registered with the school, are not being educated at home, so they're just known as missing, and they're saying that they come from complex backgrounds. They may be at risk of abuse or neglect in care from traveller or migrant families. Children of service personnel have special educational needs, anxiety or other vulnerabilities. The thing is that, of course, you know, the thing is that when you go to school as well, I know that some people hate school and hated school. There was bullying, there was whatever there was. But, you know, we need educated people. The better educated we are, the better the outcome, the better your mental health in general and everything else. There was another...
To socialise with people.
And to socialise with people. There was also another story, which is sort of slightly allied in The Sun. Social media blamed for a surge in classroom bad behaviour. Almost 1 million pupils excluded last year. And that's another thing that happens as well, is that we've... You know, we talk about mental health, and how many times have we said it? It's not good for children, this social media stuff. And they're saying that, you know, it just really isn't.
So these isolation, this loneliness that they're experiencing, and whatever reason,
anxiety, yeah.
I get very sad when I hear this, because it's not that I had a spring in my step every day going to school. When I look back on my 14 years of school, I go, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's very important, and I think also this may be partly a post-COVID consequences. Kids were kept at home during COVID, and maybe parents got in the habit of them not going to school.
Yeah, I think there is definitely a link there. I mean, we can already see it with parents taking holidays during term time.
Yes.
There was a big step up after COVID, because parents realised, well, actually, we could do teaching from home.
Yeah.
Andrew, there's sorry, Norman. There's a story about Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor.
Yes.
And his house, which is called Royal Lodge, on the Crown...
Not his house for very long.
Crown Estate. Well, well...
This is opening a can of worms or a Pandora's box or whatever metaphor you want to use, because there is a major problem with royal houses, which are generally being let to members of the royal family well below rental value, market value. Edward, for example, is in his property, 120-room mansion on a peppercorn rent. So Andrew's not alone on that. But I think there's now going to be an inquiry from the Public Accounts Committee, who, by the way, I wrote to earlier this week about this matter myself, into all these royal houses and how much they're paying, and the relationship between the Crown Estate, which is a public body, and the royal family in terms of the houses they get. But in terms of Andrew, the story is that the place is dilapidated. He hasn't been keeping it up as he should have been under the lease arrangements, and therefore he was hoping to get a return on the lease money back to him because the lease has been surrendered. That probably won't happen. In fact, he may get a bill because if the dilapidations are so bad, they may actually charge him to maintain the building. So he may actually be out of pocket.
If they weren't in these places, Norman, would the public, though, would taxpayers get any money back from the being there?
The taxpayers lose money because the Crown Estate's profits go to the Treasury, and if the Crown Estate's profits are reduced because they're not charging rents properly, then that's an indirect subsidy from the taxpayer to Andrew and Edward and everybody else.
I never realised, because there's an aerial shot here, there's photographs in many of the papers today of Royal Lodge. It's the size of a hotel. It's
enormous.
It looks like a large hospital or something, isn't it? It's big white building.
It's so big, and of course, you know, which is fitting, of course, for one person.
They are enormous. And actually, Edward's mansion, 120 rooms.
Now that
wanted to be. There was a bid for a conference centre there, and also a bid for a hotel, and instead the Crown Estate gave it to Edward for him and his wife to rattle around in.
Right, so if it was, so that would have been money into the coffers.
That would have been a lot more money to the coffers and more money to Treasury had that happened. So it's a big scandal in my view. It needs to be sorted out, and I'm glad the Public Accounts Committee is looking at it.
Quick word, we've got a minute left, and there's pressure on our own postal services in so many ways, Penny. But this is talking about in Denmark, What has happened there?
They're saying at the end of the month they are going to stop delivering letters, full stop.
Oh.
Letter volumes have gone down by more than 90% since the turn of the century. So the red mailboxes are going to be removed and put in museums.
That's such a shame.
But how can they just to say...
So they said so there are other ways of sending mail. So there are other options, but just not the Royal Mail. So you would have to go to another mail delivering service. And I think it's really sad because I love all that sort of stuff.
Well, there we go. Guys going to be back in about 40 minutes' time. Once again, more papers from them.
Let us know what you think on any of those stories. gbnews.com/you'll stay. Here's the weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for sharing over 5 million comments on your say, because when you talk, we listen.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M8 westbound junction 4 on slip is currently closed due to essential roadworks, with drivers advised to follow the signed diversions until further notice. In Hertfordshire, a collision on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 17 and junction 16 has resulted in the closure of 2 out of 4 lanes. Meanwhile, on the trains, northern buses are replacing trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven. Additionally, South Western Railway is experiencing a disruption between London Waterloo and Clapham Junction. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's the big one. Your chance to win a whopping £85,000 in tax-free cash. The largest cash prize we've given away to date. That's like over £7,000 a month extra in your bank account each month for 12 whole months. That's a year of yes. Yes to holidays, yes to treats, yes to shopping trips, yes to home improvements. For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Good morning. Russia warns Europe that they are ready for war.
President Putin's message came just hours before peace talks with Donald Trump's envoys.
While the Ukrainian President Zelensky says there are no easy solutions, but is counting on Europe and the US to bring an end to the conflict.
Rachel Reeves has been hit by a parliamentary rural rebellion over inheritance tax on farmers.
Elsewhere, a parliamentary inquiry says systematic failures led to the Chinese spy case collapsing, and they warn there's a risk that this could be repeated.
Scottish Labour is to call on the government to urgently clarify its stance on whether an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland will or won't be held.
Is it selfish to have children later on in life? We're going to be debating that during the programme today. Do send us your thoughts.
And in sport, crazy 9-goal thriller at Craven Cottage last night. Manchester City beat Fulham 5-4. There was only 4 second-half goals as Spurs get a last-minute equaliser at Newcastle. And Arsenal's Mikel Arteta tells the fans to turn up like animals for their game with Brentford tonight.
There's some winter sunshine for many of us today, but also a few showers, particularly towards the north and west, with a bit of rain arriving later. Stick around to find out the details.
On this Wednesday morning, a very good morning to you. Thank you for your company, online, on radio, on TV. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. And a happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. You've been very good. Now, we've done the birthday thing.
No, I think we need to do it at the top of each hour.
Well, people will be saying,
Just to remind
not
people that are
talking
waking
about
up.
his birthday again, because he doesn't want to talk about it.
All together, one at a time. Happy birthday to
I think it's
you.
nice. We'll do it at the top of each hour.
We used to do that when we were kids. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You were born in a zoo. With the monkeys and the elephants and the big kangaroo.
There you go.
Oh, I haven't heard that version.
When do we do the bumps? Is it like 8 o'clock or is it after?
Feel free to do the bumps anytime. You can grab Duncan.
Okay, yeah.
You'll need 20
clap.
to do that. Yeah.
Birthday bumps. So if you've got any messages for Eamonn, we are going to read them out later on in the programme. gbnews.com/yoursay. Send them in to us. That'll be lovely. He loves it, really. Pretends he doesn't, but he does. We're talking about older parents later on in the programme, aren't we, Courtney?
Yeah. Oh.
And you've got a story you want to share about that.
Yeah. My daughter was at nursery school with Rod Stewart's son.
Oh, that's a claim to
Alistair,
fame.
many years ago.
Were you like, get in
Like 20
there?
years ago. Yes, exactly, I was. I was like, well, actually, this is
Arranged
true.
marriage.
There was, because the thing is, she was then very close to Alistair when they were, you know, they were like 3 or 4 years old. Went to the party and everything at Rod's house. I wasn't invited, but Sue went and took Ruby. But there was a moment that Rod turned up, used to go into the nursery, and he went in with Alistair, and this is absolutely true. One of the little kids went, Miss to the woman. She goes, "Who's the man? Who's that man? Who's that man?" She went, "That's Alistair's dad." He went, "It can't be. He's far too old." Rod's like, I think that child was removed from the nursery straight after that.
Oh, dear.
Is that great, though?
That's a great story.
But Rod, you do look fabulous.
I played football in Rod's back garden.
You did, because he had Wembley pitch, didn't he? He had the Wembley
fully
pitch.
fledged, yeah.
So you've all been to Rod's house?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, I
have you not?
You should have gone and done pickup.
I should have gone. I should have gone, yeah.
No, I haven't yet. I'm waiting on my invite from Rod.
OK.
Got a birthday message for you, Eamonn, from Patricia. It says, "Happy birthday, Eamonn Holmes. I hope you have a lovely day."
Thank you,
Isn't that nice?
Is that the first one in? Someone's just tweeted me to pass on the message to you. OK.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate it. Thank you. Top story on this Wednesday morning. Vladimir Putin says he doesn't want war with Europe, but is ready to fight.
Speaking after an investment forum in Moscow, the Russian president says the Europeans do not have a peaceful agenda and are on the side of war. He also seeks demands from the war in Ukraine that are not acceptable to Russia.
Ukrainian opposition leader Kira Rudik joins us now, and we're ready to get a reaction from you, Kira, as to how things are going. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
So the issue is that here on the ground, things didn't really change during all of those negotiations. Russia keeps attacking us almost every night, and they keep pushing at the battlefield. So this is why President Zelensky and all of us, we were asking for a ceasefire to start real negotiations. President Trump was trying to get a ceasefire from Putin, but he was unable to do so. And now we are at the situation where that we have warned everyone about, that Russia is just using this stalling tactic to escape additional sanctions. They are saying that they really are considering peace. However, their actions are saying otherwise. And I think when we are talking about Putin's statement about Europe, this is, again, a showcase of Russia being completely obscure. So during the time when Russian drones are entering European airspace, during the time when Russian military ships or airplanes are entering different countries, crossing the different countries' borders, and there are various hybrid attacks, Putin is saying that he doesn't want war with Europe. I think it's a very concerning statement.
What do you think he's trying to achieve, Kira, with these comments to the Europeans especially, saying that they have no peace agenda, that they're hindering the US, that he doesn't want to go to war with them, but he is ready for a war?
He's trying to break the coherence of transatlantic alliance and show Europeans that the United States wouldn't protect them, wouldn't defend them. He wants Europe to stop supporting Ukraine, and he wants to escape potential sanctions that President Trump has threatened him with. And he is going to, according to his plan, and unfortunately, his plan is working much better than President Trump's plan to end the war.
And what did you make of President Zelensky? Because he's been on a state visit to Ireland this week, wasn't he? He was talking about wanting peace, but peace without humiliation. How do you think that message went down, and how do you think his trip went down as well in Ireland?
It seems to be a very successful trip. I hear from it from my friends in Ireland. They were very excited to have President. President is trying to rally and get the support for Ukraine and remind our partners what we are fighting for. However, the issue is that no matter how you call it, non-humiliating peace, any kind of peace, we do not have any sort of this. Like, no word that you will use is...
looks like we've just been disconnected there from Kira Rudik, but we've got the idea.
Yeah, thanks for your time this morning, and we wish you peace in your country. Joining us now in the studio, Duncan Barks, who's here to talk about lots of political things, home and abroad. But first of all, the situation about the war in Europe. Putin sounds quite threatening towards Europe. I mean, you know, he'll take anybody on, he'll do anything. Can he afford to be, is he, or is it all bluff?
I think there's a big element of bluff about this. You've got to remember the Russian economy is just in tatters. So in order to fund an additional war would probably see the end of that particular economy. I don't think we should be surprised by the outcome of the Kremlin. You know, I think it's inevitable that we've ended up with this result because fundamentally what you have Putin saying, I want to keep hold of the land that I've invaded and conquered, and Zelensky won't allow that because fundamentally what you're doing is you're rewarding the aggressor.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the crunch point in the negotiations. I think it puts Trump in a very difficult position because, you know, he's said he's going to end all of the wars around the world. And I think he'll be looking at this and thinking, well, actually, you know, as Putin run me and my colleagues up the flagpole, if you like, and back down again because they've come out of Russia with nothing.
Duncan, can we talk about the House of Commons vote last night, bringing it back to home?
Yeah.
And there was this vote on inheritance tax changes for farmers, and it passed. But there is something being described as a mini mutiny that took place last night.
It is interesting. So this vote took place just after 8 o'clock last night, and this is all to do with something that was announced in the previous budget last year about inheritance tax being placed on farming estates or farming businesses over £1 million. We have seen the pictures in Whitehall over the months and going back over a year now of protesting farmers turning up on their tractors just going, this is not right, this is not fair. There was a vote in the Commons last night. All of the votes over the last few days have been off the back of the budget, as we know. And what is interesting about it, even though the Labour motion got through, there are a big chunk of Labour MPs who abstained, so they didn't support the government, their government in this. For the record, the Conservatives voted against. The Conservative Party have always been very clear that they're against this. So we're seeing this term mini mutiny being used because increasingly you have Labour MPs who represent rural constituencies who are going, look, these farming families are coming to me just going, this is truly devastating. You must understand the impact of this. And we're actually seeing some MPs do what their constituents want them to do. One man in particular, so whilst the majority of Labour MPs abstained, there's a guy called Marcus Campbell-Savers, who's a Labour MP for Penrith and Solway, massive rural constituency. He actually voted against. He didn't abstain, he voted against. And he's saying, I'm listening to people in my constituency. This is truly devastating for Britain's farming communities. So it'll be interesting to see if this gains traction over the next couple of weeks.
I think there's also an awareness amongst Labour MPs that this is hugely unpopular with the British people. I mean, they are aware that farmers are the people that put food on our tables. And in terms of the money they'll even be making from this policy, I mean, would it even be worth it?
No, and it makes you wonder why they've picked the fight.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not there's this little narrative developing which is about envy or wealth envy, which is flawed if that is the case, because, you know, we've heard about the mandatory tax and stuff like that. It's not the fact that all of these farmers are completely loaded and are rich and are millionaires. They might be asset rich because they've got the land, but they're cash poor. You've also got to roll into that farming is no easy gig, right? You're getting out of bed at 4:30 in the morning. You have to look after your animals. You have to go out into the fields. You can't just go on holiday for 2 weeks.
Or be sick.
Or be sick. And I think the British public are on the side of our farmers. And I think if Starmer and his government want an easy political win, and some might suggest at the moment they need some, they might drop this policy.
But Duncan, I don't even think people are half aware of the pressure that the farming community is under, particularly when it comes to green issues, pardon the pun there. But, you know, their cows are adding to a methane problem. The way we raise certain animals, husbandry problem, all sorts of things. And they're getting it from right, left and centre. So here's my question to you, Duncan. What if less and less people, naturally enough, say, you know, I'm Jimmy, I work in, you know, Aberdeenshire, whatever it is, as a farmer. It's not worth it anymore. I'm going down to Glasgow to work in an office somewhere there. What happens?
We end up significantly damaging our food security. We would not have the farmers working on the land that allows us to grow food and feed the population. You've got to bear in mind that still about 2/3 to 1/3 of food in this country is imported. We're not completely self-sufficient. I take the view that we need to have food security. We should be able to provide for ourselves. But it's really interesting, Eamonn. I covered the first farmers' protest in Whitehall off the back of the first Labour budget. I interviewed some farmers, and there were people saying pretty much exactly what you've just said. If this goes through, we will not be able to afford to farm, the family business will not exist, I will have to go and work elsewhere and retrain. So that is a very real possibility and a very real threat to our country.
Can we talk finally about another big story today? This is the parliamentary inquiry into why the Chinese spy case collapsed.
Yeah.
What has it found?
Well, it is found that it's been shambolic, which I think we may have concluded ourselves. So the last 6 weeks, we've had MPs and peers who formed this thing called the Joint Committee on the National Security Strategy. They've looked into why this particular court case collapsed, involving two gentlemen, Christopher Cash and Christopher Berry, who faced allegations of effectively spying. They deny those allegations and have always protested their innocence. And it's really interesting, the findings of this. It's quite a damning report. It says the handling of the case was shambolic, and also the process was beset by confusion and misaligned expectations and inadequate communication between the government and the Crown Prosecution Service, the CPS. Now, the Conservatives have taken the view, up until this report was published, it'll be very interesting to see what comes out today from various Conservative MPs who have got a fear of China, and I would say understandably so. They took the view that this was, the reason this never got to court is because we didn't want to upset our relationship with China. They want Chinese money in the UK economy.
But Duncan, this isn't going away
anywhere.
You know, to try and pretend, well, we've got that solved, that's it.
Yeah.
Whether it comes from North Korea, whether it comes from China, whether it comes, there's so many enemies around the world. I mean, let's face it, Britain spies as well.
Every country spies.
Yeah.
You have to take a pragmatic view and make a pragmatic decision about how far you're prepared to let another nation, in this particular case China, which many would argue is a hostile nation towards us, how far you want to play the game and cosy up with them. And we talked about this before on GB News. The next thing coming down the tracks is this so-called Chinese mega embassy. They want one on the site of, or next door to the Tower of London, right next door to the Square Mile, the City of London, sensitive data cables underneath. People have said, whoa, that's a little bit too close. Other people have just said, well, we probably need to let China have their embassy because we want a good working relationship with them for the sake of the economy.
Now, finally, Duncan, I want your view on this. This is just a reminder that friends of GB News can vote in today's You Decide poll. That's for free, and what you do is scan the QR code, which is on your screen now. Today, Ellie, we are asking what?
Has the budget damaged your saving plans? Let us know what you think, yes or no. We're going to bring those results to you throughout the programme. But this is off the back of the front page of the Times this morning, Duncan, saying that economists are warning of low growth and higher bills, and essentially saying that people are going to be deterred now from saving and earning more money.
Well, so they've got any money to save, right?
Yeah, well, this is it.
You know, this is the interesting thing because, of course, this is around the whole debate of we had a government who pledged no increase in income tax, yet they frozen the thresholds for 3 years, which means if you're lucky enough to get a pay rise, you might be bumped into that higher rate tax band, and therefore you end up paying more tax. So that only works on the basis if you can save, if you've got the money to actually save. And I think increasingly with the cost of living and inflation, people are looking around going, you know, I'm struggling month to month to actually pay the bills. There's nothing left in the pot to put anywhere.
Nothing. And you don't exaggerate, my friend, because this is Rip-Off Britain. And I'll ask you all at home, whether you're listening or whether you're watching us today, what do you regard as a rip-off? What is damaging your finances? I would put it to people, rent, landlords are the biggest rip-off, whether on the high street or domestically. What else? Car insurance. I got a car insurance reminder this week. Absolutely horrendous.
Can I make a point on that? We have a thing in this country called insurance premium tax, where you pay a tax on the insurance you buy, IPT. By law, we have to have car insurance, right?
Yes.
There's no question about not having it, because if you don't have it, you break the law, yet we pay a tax on our car insurance premiums. That is a massive rip-off.
Yeah,
you ever tried to pay a dental bill?
Yeah.
You know, and you just go, I could go on and on and on.
Food inflation.
Food inflation, absolutely incredible. And shrinkflation.
And shrinkflation is a whole other thing.
You pay your food and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and whatever. I've started, you can finish, have your say. Get in touch with us, take part in that vote as well. Has the budget damaged your saving plans? And also take part, leave a comment with your say as well. Duncan, always
Thanks,
a pleasure
Duncan.
talking
Pleasure,
to you.
thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Happy
indeed.
birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now at 17 minutes past 7, let's take a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning. And the TV presenter Holly Willoughby admits breaking a man's neck in a car crash after pleading guilty to knocking a rider off his scooter. She was absent for her sentencing hearing yesterday, but was ordered to pay £2,444 and also got 6 points on her licence.
New documents reveal Prince Edward also pays peppercorn rent for his Surrey mansion with Princess Alexandra, the late Queen's cousin, paying £700 per year for a large property in Richmond as well. So a lot of criticism in the papers towards this today.
And sticking with the royal theme, the Princess of Wales has described the power of reaching out in a festive message. In a letter sent to guests of her carol service, the Princess talks about the importance of personal interaction and says Christmas is not about sentimental gestures.
I think that's wrong, because I think Christmas is about
sentimental gestures. I think that was meant to say, yes. We'll have a look at that one, won't we?
And talking about her carol concert, have you got an invite to that?
No, have you got an invite?
I didn't get an invite to that.
It may be lost in the post.
No, but we've got our own carol concert.
We do, yes, on the 13th, I believe, of December.
Yes.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yes.
Are you reading? I think you might be reading.
No,
I think you might be doing a reading.
No one's asked me. I don't mind doing that. That's fine.
I may have this wrong, but I think you and I are on the list to be a reader.
Yeah, well, obviously you want the big stars in the station.
I love doing readings at church. Don't you? Love doing a reading.
Well, my life changed through doing an Easter reading at the church. I was doing an Easter reading at the church, and our drama teacher of our college saw me do it, and he cast me as Henry V.
So it was clearly a very theatrical reading.
Well, he said my voice is very loud and well projected, and then I was
do have a lot of projection in your
able to go once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. I could do it much louder than that.
Oh, that's very good, yeah.
Or fill up our walls with our English dead. In truth, there's nothing more becomes a man than I've forgotten the rest of it. But,
you're very good, you're very good. I read it at my friend's wedding, and I think it's one of the...
Did you?
Yeah, it's a big privilege being asked to read.
Big privilege.
But anyway, we haven't actually officially been asked, so I could be spreading fake news there, but I believe we're on a draft list.
Talking about drafts, Alex Burkle, he'll tell you how drafty the weather is.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
We've got the birthday messages coming in thick and fast. Barbara says, Ellie, please pass on my birthday messages to Eamonn Holmes.
Thank you, Barbara.
Happy birthday. I hope it's a very happy day for him. Another person, Varen, says, happy birthday to Eamonn, spelt Aman.
That's right. When I went...
Amen.
I go to the Middle East, countries like Dubai and whatever. Eamonn's a common Arabic name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Spelled A-Y...
No, it's probably, I don't know what way it's spelled. A-Y-M-E-N.
M-E-N.
Probably.
Yeah, that's the way that this person
I prefer it as A-M-E-N.
I quite like that. I quite like that. Yeah, amen. Yeah, I quite like that. That might catch on.
I went to America and did a chat show.
Oh, yeah?
No, not a chat show. It was a quiz show, I'm sorry. And the warm-up man, and they pay you to be in the audience in America. That's what they do, you see? So everybody's so enthusiastic because they're getting $100 a time or whatever, and their lunch. But anyway, so when I would come out on stage, no one could understand my name or whatever, and then he put it like this. He just started singing, and he went, Amen, 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 amen.
And they were caught on.
I'm thinking of maybe asking it to be introduced here.
Yeah, as part of our show jingle. I think it's a very good idea. Let's have that on. John says, hang on, I'm not done. John says, Eamonn, when my kids find out it's your birthday, they're going to be on to me because they say that I always look like
Who are you?
Happy birthday. Colin says, happy birthday, Eamonn. Hope you have a fantastic day. Jeanette says, happy birthday, Eamonn. It's my birthday too.
Happy birthday, Jeanette. Very good.
And Linda, also her birthday today. Oh, you're all getting in touch. Happy birthday to all of you, Linda and Jeanette and Eamonn. She says, happy birthday, Eamonn. I'm 70 today. Did you know that we also share our birthday with the late, great Andy Williams?
Yes, I did know that, Linda, yeah. There we go. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. 7:24 is the time for a brand new Great British Giveaway. Here it is.
It's the greatest cash prize of the Great British Giveaway so far. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like, making 2026 your greatest year to date. That could get you that brand new car, extend and improve your home, take you away on that bucket list holiday, or just give you some peace of mind over the coming months. For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing the 9th of February 2026. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Now, children, is it selfish to have children when you're elderly?
Well, later on in life, I think we're saying.
Later on in life?
Yeah.
OK, and we'll be talking about that next. Don't go away.
Bowl.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Now, did you see the London Fashion Awards this week?
Oddly enough, no, I didn't.
Well, it was great because...
They were all there, were they?
They were all there, and there were huge pregnancy news. Ellie Goulding and Sienna Miller both revealed that they're pregnant. And I think Ellie Goulding is 38 and Sienna Miller is 43.
Oh.
So both of them are older
Or
mums,
senior.
we can say that. Older
Yes,
mums.
Even at 38.
Yeah, I think that's still considered a geriatric mum. Anyways.
You'll be a geriatric mum.
The way I'm going, probably, yeah.
Well, you will be. I think if you're over 25 or something.
Will you?
Yeah.
We need to work out when you're called a geriatric mum.
You are.
But anyway, it's led to our debate this morning. Is it selfish to have kids later on in life?
Well, joining us now is the geriatric mum, self-named. That's her blog. Lucy Baker. Lucy, good morning to you. And,
good morning.
Good. And we also have journalist and commentator Fleur Elizabeth. OK.
Good morning.
So, good morning to you. Lovely to have you both there. So let's talk about children and whether, I suppose, as a geriatric mum, Lucy, are you in favour of this?
Yes. So like Sienna Miller, well, she might not be 43 when she has her baby, she might be 44, but I was 43 when I had my third child and very much considered a, well, however you want to call it, geriatric mum, older mum. And to answer your question right at the beginning, it's normally over the age of 35 is when you're categorised as a geriatric mum, but my consultant said it's moving more towards the age of 40. So even at 40, you know, I was 3 years older than that. I was well within that older mum category. So I am in favour of being an older mum because, you know what, I'm actually having a really good time. I'm loving it.
But Lucy, a lot of that is just the way people's lifestyles are today, the way life has changed, the way society is when people are available and they find that Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or whatever it happens to be, as to is it choice or is it necessity being later in life?
It's a really mixed bag, actually. So since I started my blog nearly 7 years ago, because my boy's nearly 7, I've met women along the way who've been through loads of different situations. So bereavements is one reason. So you might be widowed quite early on in life and it takes a while to meet somebody else. There's, you know, health complications, or it's by choice, or, you know, there's so many different reasons why women are having babies later on in life. But to brand it as selfish, I think, is a mistake, because we don't always know why this is the choice, or the, you know, not the choice that women are making, having babies later on. So I think we have to champion it and we have to celebrate it, because I mean, I can only talk from my personal experience and from women I've met along the way through the blog. Women are really, really enjoying this sort of opportunity in life. And I mean, I just talked to a woman this morning who said she couldn't get pregnant. You know, there's loads of reasons why women are having babies later. But I think one thing's really important to note here, that nobody's talked about the age of these dads. You know, how old, has anybody even Googled it? How old is Sienna Miller's partner? How old is Ellie Goulding's partner? Why is the emphasis on the age of the woman?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, so I just wanted to add there, and I'd like to bring Fleur in on this one. But Fleur, my mother was 48 when she had my youngest brother, and it would be my mother's birthday tomorrow. So
happy birthday to your mum
she's not
tomorrow.
alive. So I was the third, she was the fourth. But so what do you make of the whole situation, what we're talking about, Fleur?
Yeah, well, actually, Sienna Miller's partner is 15 years younger than her. He's only 28. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
He'll be around for the children, presumably a lot longer than she will. I think it's so true that the dads can often be a lot older than the mothers because they're fertile a lot later.
Yeah.
And a relative of mine had a child in his 60s. So she grew up the same age as me, and he sadly passed away before she graduated, got married. So she now has to go through her whole adult life without a father. I think that's probably slightly more selfish than these mothers could be described. But mainly, I just think all life is wonderful and a miracle, and the more babies, the better. So congratulations to Ellie and Sienna.
But what I was going to say, forgive me.
I'll get a word in eventually.
When you get a certain age, then the thoughts come later. But what I was going to say, actually, was what I noticed. My mother was 48 when she had my youngest brother. But I really felt that it aged both her and my father very quickly after that, Fleur. So, so suddenly the physicality of looking after a baby in your 50s and whatever was very, very difficult.
Well, it's not a new thing for women to be having children in their 40s. What is new is for them to be having their first child later. Yeah. But like my great-grandmother, she had 13 children, so she started earlier and went on for longer, but contraception wasn't available. Women didn't have the choices. So it was just, you have babies until you can't anymore.
Yeah.
And they just got on with it. They cracked on and made it work.
And Lucy, what do you think, in our last minutes, the last answer to you, what do you think the benefits are of being an older parent? What can you bring to the role with that little bit more life experience?
Definitely confidence. Sort of stronger sense of self. I mean, I had my first baby when I was 34, so I was on the cusp of being geriatric, even with baby number one. And I was all over the place then. I have to admit, in my 30s, I felt like a child. You know, I don't know why that was, but I just wasn't very confident. I wasn't very balanced. So, fast forward that 10 years, I had my third child, and I was so much more together. I guess I'd got experience of being a mum anyway, but it wasn't really that. It was more that I was more comfortable with myself. I'm more, I've just got a better outlook on life, and I enjoyed the pregnancy so much more than the other two, and I really love being a mum. And I'm about to be 50, and my boy's going to be 7, so I'm celebrating it all the way.
OK, well, really appreciate both your comments and get people talking. So have your say at home.
Thanks, you too.
If you're listening, you have a view or you have a family, let us know what time that you had it at. After the break, this is what we're talking about. It's front page headline on The Sun. They're talking about the great game robbery. So they're talking about the World Cup, tickets for the World Cup, and they're selling for about £1,000 a time. Would you pay it?
No.
Quite answering that right after the break.
Thank you so much for helping us to reach 8 million followers and subscribers across our social media channels. That's 8 million fearless Brits standing up for what really matters.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M8 westbound junction 4 on slip remains closed to facilitate essential roadworks. These will occur throughout both daylight and nighttime hours, so please adhere to the signed diversion routes. In Slough, there is a road traffic incident on the M4 eastbound between junction 6 and junction 5, leading to 1 out of 4 lanes being closed. Traffic conditions are expected to normalise around 8 this morning. And on the trains, there is a disruption on Great Western Railway between Liskeard and Looe, while Northern has replaced trains with buses between Corkickle and Whitehaven due to service interruptions. Stay informed on these updates, and for more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m, only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
We were talking about tickets for next year's World Cup finals, and are they a rip-off? Let's find out from Paul.
Oh, that's so cute. Got a birthday present for Eamonn.
What do you mean so cute? It's wrapped in Tottenham Hotspur paper.
That's what's so cute. I bet you love that.
There you go. Look at that. It's in Tottenham Hotspur paper. Would you like it now?
Yeah.
Come on.
Open it now.
Come on, birthday boy.
I can't possibly
Happy birthday.
I can't possibly see what you could have bought me from the Tottenham Hotspur shop that would be of any interest. Oh, it's Ness to do with Big Pat.
What?
Ness is Big Pat.
Listen, don't get overexcited. That's all I can say. You know it go, oh, have you got me one of these?
Oh, Coity, this is brilliant.
What is it?
Well, the paper aside, the paper aside.
The paper.
Apart from the paper.
Oh, an SPV vehicle.
There it is.
Absolutely incredible.
A what?
That's from Captain Scarlet.
Do.
Oh,
yeah.
no. You did say you wanted toys.
That is joyous, Paul. Thank you very much indeed,
Happy
my
birthday.
friend.
Are you going to keep it in the box, or are you going to play with it? Oh, I'll have to get another one.
What if I take it out and put it back in the box?
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
I've never had one this size before.
How big was the other one you had then? Was it smaller?
About the size of the box.
Oh, right, OK, nice.
Yeah, this is very cute. Very, very good.
What is it?
It's a Corgi SPV vehicle. It's from Captain Scarlet. Special Patrol Vehicle.
Oh, a special patrol vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
When you were a kid.
Oh, come on, Ellie. It's an SPV. It's a special patrol vehicle.
Oh, lovely. I'm so pleased that you're happy.
That's
well
actually
done, Quitty.
quite tasteful paper.
It's not bad, is it? Do you not want the paper? Do you not want to keep the Spurs paper as a souvenir?
You've also got a little Spurs card here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And it says, Eamonn, happy birthday from Paul. You've got the nicest handwriting in the world.
Oh, really? Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like a celebrity's handwriting. Well, you are a celeb.
Oh, now, please. It's not my birthday, everyone.
Anyway, happy birthday.
Anyway, happy birthday.
Very good of you.
We've got lots of lovely messages. Wait, I've lost them now, but there was a lovely list of...
Yeah, sport is one thing, but birthdays are much more interesting.
Yeah, and there's so many more adding up.
You've got all these. We've got the bits of cake.
Have we got birthdays to play?
Chocolates. Yeah, we have, actually.
That's for Miss Ellie.
Yeah, I got you chockies, and I got you the cakes as well.
Yeah, you're going to crack open the chocolates as well? Or are you going to...
Oh, yeah, why don't we crack those open?
Yeah.
Obviously, only if you want to.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
I thought they were for me.
They can become Team chocolates, though.
Do you want them?
No, I can't open
I
your
do.
birthday present. Coity, we can't make him open his birthday
Can we not?
chocolates.
Well, he bought me that car, so he's entitled to that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay, you get on with the sport now.
Fulham 4, Manchester United 5.
That's amazing.
They made it a hell of a game purely for
You
Eamon's
score
birthday today.
4 goals against City and still lose.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? See, Man City went 5-1 up, and you think, this is at Craven Cottage, you think, this is going to, absolutely. It's going to walk it, they're going to get a 6th. And Erling Haaland scored his 100th goal, by the way, for Manchester City yesterday, which is the youngest to be the Premier League 100.
So it's how quickly he's scored those 100.
Yeah, because he's the fastest. Oh, look, careful with those chocolates, are falling out all over the place.
They're going to go everywhere.
So it ended up Fulham then get a goal, then they get another one, then they get another one, and then there's 12 minutes left, and you think surely this is not going to be a 5-5, but it wasn't. It wasn't 5-5. It was 4-5. 4-4. He's 5-5. It was Fulham 4, Manchester City 5, Newcastle 2.
You won or not?
You've made a right mess now.
You know what? I really don't want to be talking. I just want to be eating those chocolates.
Wait,
so Newcastle 2,
hang on.
Spurs 2. Thank you very much for this.
Let me rearrange.
Oh, I wish it was Eamon's birthday every day.
Yeah,
Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. Should we play birthdays? Let's just do that. Should
Finally.
we play birthdays?
Yes.
Right. Oh, they look really nice. So let's go with the first birthday then. Celebrating birthdays today along with Eamonn. Who is the first one, please?
He's a golfer.
Hold on, who is that?
It's, what's his name, the German.
You know what? The funny thing...
Isn't it?
This is ridiculous, because I've given the name and said, I'd like Franz Klammer, who is the Olympic downhill skiing champion from 1976. And they put Franz Klammer playing...
Why is he playing
golf?
Right.
So anyway, he's not a golfer. He's a skier. I was really looking forward to seeing a picture. 1976, the Olympic downhill champion. But there's a nice picture of him playing golf.
Right, I'd say he is... 66.
Maybe that's just a strange shaped ski. 66?
So he was skiing in the 70s.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
76.
say he's 72.
Is the right answer.
Yes.
72 for Franz Klammer. Very good. Let's go. It's Katarina Witt, the ice skater, and we've got her not ice skating. So Katarina Witt there, the East German, 2-time Olympic skating gold. A nice picture of her
60.
not doing her sport. 60. Oh, did you say 60?
2, 3.
60 is the right answer.
OK,
Very
lovely.
good. Let's go with another one. On Earth, could we see Daryl Hannah doing this? Daryl Hannah, the lovely, talented actress Daryl Hannah. How old is she? Do you remember she was in Splash?
She was a mermaid.
She was a mermaid with Tom Hanks. I was surprised.
Daryl Hannah, I think, will be in her 60s as well. I think she'll be 58, OK.
50. She's in her 60s, 58. Now, come on, stick with the 60s.
Well, she looks so good.
Stick with the 60s.
62.
69.
65 is the answer. And one more, famous tennis player, Jimmy Connors. There's Jimmy Connors. There we are. There we are.
The
we
man
don't
of
need
the
to say the man of the moment. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Also, just to say, other chocolate brands are available because we... I don't think we're
They
allowed to
are. And if you want to send them, feel free.
Feel free, and we can also
Good
eat
idea.
them.
They're lovely.
They're really lovely.
I'm glad you like them.
Appreciate it.
Anyway, on that note, do stay with us. We're going to be going through the papers next with Norman and Penny. See you in just a few minutes, you two.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The weather's looking quite mixed across the Mediterranean through tomorrow and much of this week. There's further heavy rain towards the east affecting Greece, Albania and other nearby nations. Could see some severe thunder, landslides, other impacts as a result because it has been so wet recently. Other areas will also see some rain at times. There will also be some drier, sunnier bursts, but it's often going to be relatively unsettled and there is a bit more rain for many to come into the weekend.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Now, funeral directors have warned that coffins are becoming too large to be cremated as Britain's obesity crisis simply balloons. Wider caskets, extra pallbearers and bigger furnaces are now being used, with the industry saying that the rising size of the population is creating serious challenges. Well, experts now predict an estimated 3.3 million cases of adult excess weight by 2040, and it's having a huge impact on the funeral director's business. Let's speak to one now. I'm joined by the funeral director, Lee Solomon. Lee, thanks for joining us on the show. So people are now becoming too fat to fry, and you've had to come up with a novel solution to this problem.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a novel solution. If someone comes into our care and they are a larger person, then we do get a larger coffin manufactured for them. So when they come into our care, one of the first things that we do is we measure the size of our residents. And if they are a larger person, we do what we class as a bariatric coffin, which is a larger size coffin, which we get made to measure for them. If a family comes into our care and says, oh, we want our loved one to have their service at Yardley, but they're larger than 29 inches, they'd have to have their service at Yardley brought back into our care, taken to Sutton, where the cremation would happen.
So supersized coffins are sent to Sutton because they can fit into the crematorium. Am I correct in saying, Lee Solomon, that sometimes you've bolted two coffins together to get one supersized cadaver inside?
We've never gone to. I've never done that myself. I don't know about other funeral directors, but we get all of our coffins manufactured to the size of the person, so they're made to measure.
GB News, the People's Channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Penny and Norman, they've got the papers in front of them and a story about, on the front page of the Financial Times, Norman, about Nigel Farage, who's had a message to reform donors. What was that?
Well, according to the FT, and the FT normally doesn't print rubbish, so it's got different sources here saying that Nigel Farage told donors that he wanted a reverse takeover of the Conservative Party for the next election. That he couldn't do it on his own, he couldn't get power on his own, he had the Tories with him, but he wanted to take them over. And there's got Kemi Badenoch saying that she's been a custodian of an institution that she's existed for 200 years, and he can't just treat it like a toy and have pacts and mergers. It's worth pointing out.
He's denied it, though, hasn't
Yes, that's my point I'm going to make. He's denied it. So he said it's not true. On the other hand, they have got different sources saying it is true.
Well, putting your political hat on, as former minister and all that, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think it's true that Reform can't win the next election on their own. And I think it's probably true that there is a deal to be done with the Conservatives. And what you're seeing from polls, actually, is that there's fluidity between Reform and the Tories on the right-hand side, and there's fluidity between Labour, Lib Dem, SNP, Plaid Cymru and Green on the other side. There's not much crossover between the two sides, but there's a lot of fluidity within each side.
Yeah.
OK. Penny, let's look at something totally different, shall we? But it caught our eye this morning.
Yeah.
The Bond car.
Oh, the Bond car.
Reborn.
So this is a lovely story because it's about a chap who bought this DB5 and he bought it for 900 quid. This is an Aston Martin DB5.
It's a lovely car.
Bought it for 900 quid. And then for 50 years, pretty much didn't do very much. He moved to the Middle East, car left was on his driveway, things happened, the local kids jumped on it and various other things, and it just decayed. He has spent pretty much the big wodge of 400 grand having it done.
Do you have a picture of this car, no?
Oh, I thought as I was waffling. Well, I can hold it up. But this is how it looks now. There we go. This is how it looked then and now. I don't know which.
So he spent 400 grand on this.
400 grand. He sent it back to Aston Martin.
Oh.
to where it was made, and the reason it's worth now about $1 million is because there were only 37, I think,
39
of them made, and so it's very rare. There we go. Well done, him.
Pretty penny on that. Good for him.
Yeah. Yes, and good for
He
him.
hasn't made it yet.
No, he hasn't made it. It's just worth. I know. He may.
I was reading a story about a man who'd spent £1 million on a DB5, and it's now worth 500,000. But,
right,
they
OK.
hit a peak a couple of years ago, but who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
But don't you want to spend money on a car in order to use it, not to sell it?
Well,
I mean,
he's just...
I had a car like that. I drive it.
Of course. No, then that's what... He's not selling it. He's worked hard to... He said, we've worked hard to get it
It's a work of art.
reconditioned, and it's just... And he loves it.
I wonder, does it have machine guns and things they're going to...
Oh, no, weirdly, it says no.
Or an ejector
no ejector seat, exactly. Or any of those other things, yeah.
Well, we'll eject you two out of here right now. See you again in 40 minutes' time. And we're back after the weather update.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making us the fastest growing news website in the UK. We're truly humbled, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M74 northbound at junction 3A faces restrictions due to an incident. On the M4 eastbound, delays persist between junctions 24 Coldra and 23 Amagor. In Slough, a collision on the M4 eastbound between junction 6 and 5 has closed one lane, expected to normalise by 9:15. In Kent, congestion is reported on the A21 northbound between A262 and A228, with a 10-minute delay anticipated. And on the trains, Great Western Railway services are disrupted between Liscard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's the greatest cash prize of a Great British giveaway so far. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like, making 2026 your greatest year to date. That could get you that brand new car, extend and improve your home, take you away on that bucket list holiday, or just give you some peace of mind over the coming months. For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
A really important thing about GB News, and it's brought something completely different to the landscape.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first.
GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
Journalism in this country has been a cosy world full of groupthink until now.
Well, the reality is that most British journalists are afraid. That's not GB News.
Journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
We're here to talk about things in a way that have never been broadcast on British airways before.
Do not miss a moment on GB News.
The #1 news channel in the country.
Good morning. Russia warns Europe that they are ready for war.
President Putin's message came just hours before peace talks with Donald Trump's envoys.
The Ukrainian President Zelensky says there are no easy solutions, but is counting on Europe and the US to bring an end to the conflict.
Rachel Reeves has been hit by a parliamentary rural rebellion over inheritance tax on farmers.
Elsewhere, parliamentary inquiry says systematic failures led to the Chinese spy case collapsing, and they say there's a risk that this could be repeated.
Scottish Labour is to call on the government to urgently clarify its stance on whether an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland will be held or not. We'll be discussing that in the studio.
We've been debating this morning, is it selfish to have children later on in life? Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll-say.
Sport this morning, crazy 9-goal thriller at Craven Cottage last night. Manchester City beat Fulham 5-4. Only 4 second-half goals for Spurs. Well, actually, in the game against Newcastle, it was 2-2 there at St James's Park last night. 6 games tonight in the Premier League as Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta tells fans to turn up like animals for their game with Brentford.
There's some winter sunshine for many of us today, but also a few showers, particularly towards the north and west, with a bit of rain arriving later. Stick around to find out the details.
Thanks for your company. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. And it's a happy birthday to Mr. Eamonn Holmes.
Happy birthday.
Well,
He's
it's the
having
longest birthday in the world.
You know what? I
He's
think,
loving it.
from someone that says, I don't like birthdays, I think you're warming to this birthday.
I am warming to it.
No, you are,
no mood
actually.
for it at all.
Feeling the love
6 o'clock
today.
hour, and by the 7 o'clock hour, your love was warming me up. It was very good.
And you've got your caps
presents and your
scarlet.
cards and your wrapping papers and everything else. Oh, very,
And your chocolate and your cakes.
very good.
I've
Yes.
got loads of messages coming through to you. Mike says, Eamonn, happy birthday to you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mike.
You share your birthday with my late father. He would have been 100 years old today. So it's a very special day.
Amazing, very special.
Isn't that
day
nice?
for them, yeah.
United Kingdom, I don't think that's your real name, has been in touch saying, oh, we sent you some lovely Irish dancers. There you are. And they're dancing along on the coast in Ireland. And he says, this is something nice for Eamonn Holmes' birthday. There you go.
It's very nice.
That's
yeah.
nice. And somebody's saying I look like Ciri from The Witcher, if anyone's watched that.
I don't know what that means.
Ciri looks well. Yeah.
Ciri's an elf. Anyway,
She's an elf.
thanks for that.
Anyway, it's not about you, it's about his birthday.
Anyway,
Don't forget
that came up also on my tweets. But yes, thank you for all your birthday messages that are coming through to Eamonn. Keep them coming through. I'm like your PA. I'm just reading all
That's good.
the messages. Anyway, happy birthday, and you're having a lovely day, aren't you?
Right, so we've also got... I'll give Catherine Foster a chance to join in on that, yeah. So you can say happy birthday to me as well.
Happy birthday,
Good.
Eamonn, and thank you for the chocolate I've already eaten. Hope it's not in my teeth.
I'll give you another one. But
You look lovely.
You're now going to tell us about political events because there are a lot of things happened in Parliament yesterday. And one of the things is, could we see a rural rebellion over the budget? Let's get Catherine's take on that.
Yes, well, there was a mini mutiny last night from some rural Labour MPs, and it was over the government's plans for the family farm tax, because what happened at the last election is dozens of Labour MPs got elected in rural seats, which they traditionally do not have. And, of course, we've seen fury from the farmers since those measures were first suggested. We've had tractors in London, in Whitehall, even on the day of the budget, there was a protest. The NFU were calling on Labour MPs to abstain. So the government still won with a huge majority, of course, but dozens of Labour MPs actually abstained. And one backbench Labour MP, Marcus Campbell-Savers, voted against and talked about the concerns, particularly for elderly farmers, because traditionally, the tax advice has been, hang on till your farm, till you die, you pass it on to your children. But you can, if you survive for 7 years at the moment or more, pass on before death, and on a sliding scale, you then avoid inheritance tax. But there are, it's a way of life. So there's elderly farmers still working in their 70s and their 80s who now feel that they don't have time, and there's huge concern amongst their relatives, and the NFU President Tom Bradshaw has spoken very powerfully about this, that some of those may end up taking their own life to spare their families. I think there has been 1 or 2 instances of it already happening. So it comes in next April, and real pressure on the government. But, they haven't moved much so far. Will they think again?
Well, we were talking about farmers there in particular, but we're just looking to our You Decide poll today, and you can decide whether to take part in this or not. The You Decide poll is free. You scan the QR code, which is on your screen there, and just look at those results. And the question we were asking was, Ellie? Has the budget damaged your saving plans? And we've got our results in so far, haven't we? 94% of you have said, yes, it has damaged our saving plans. 6% of you say it hasn't. You see, how would the Labour Party, how would Rachel Reeves reconcile a vote like that, an overwhelming vote like that, where people think this was a bad budget, to all the things she was saying and genuinely seemed to believe was a good budget?
Well, they would say they are the fair and necessary decisions. They would say that they had to increase their fiscal headroom to calm the markets, to make, a stable financial footing. They said that they, had no choice really. Now they did have choices. Let's be real about this. OK, it's sensible to increase the fiscal headroom, but they did have choices on welfare. They had to make up $5 billion that they couldn't save because their backbenchers wouldn't have it. They chose to reverse the 2-child benefit cap. That's many Labour MPs think that that's an absolutely important move to take children out of poverty. It doesn't have huge public support, worth saying. So there were choices, and part of the result of that is, yes, they'll talk about the sweeteners in freezing rail fares and prescription charges and taking down energy bills. I mean, energy bills, the money that we're going to save on energy bills has just been moved to direct taxation. So we're still going to be paying for it, just in a different way. The government will highlight all those things. But, you know, we had huge tax rises with the frozen thresholds. And in terms of saving, the salary sacrifice that many people do, you know, with an employee scheme, they're adding national insurance to that. So that's a big hit too. So I think these results are not surprising, but the government will say that they are fair, although they don't really tally with what they told us before the last election.
I mean, The Times today is leading on, this is from the OECD, saying that Rachel Reeves' budget is obviously the highest level on tax on record. We already know that. But it's going to constrain economic growth for years, and it's going to deter people from saving, earning more money and taking the risk of perhaps running their own business.
Yes, I was struck by that report yesterday, and the Chancellor greeted it by saying that they'd upgraded growth forecasts and downgraded inflation. Well, yes, sure, but actually growth forecasts, 1.2% for next year, 1.3% for 2027. They're pretty lacklustre. And inflation set to be the highest in the G7 this year and the second highest next year. Now, we know that inflation eats into everybody's spending power.
Yeah. It's PMQs later on today, isn't it? Do you think the pressure will still be on Rachel Reeves and the budget and whether she misled the public?
Yes, I would think definitely. I know there are other stories now bubbling up, but still, you know, you look at the recent polling, Labour have been very unpopular now for some time, but they seem to have managed to make themselves even more unpopular, and Rachel Reeves in particular. I fully expect the questions about her future and misleading the public and the markets, because all the leaks, the OBR yesterday made it very clear, sure, they put that document up online by accident, but for weeks and weeks there were the briefings coming not from the OBR but from people in the Treasury about black holes and so on and so forth, and the OBR has said, you know, that was damaging. That has an effect in the real world, potentially damaged growth and hampered people from spending money.
When you say from people in the Treasury, I mean, do you mean from the political side of the Treasury or from the civil service side of the Treasury?
Well, I don't know exactly, but my suspicions would be, from what I've heard, mostly from the political side, because the civil servants are there to do their job. They're not particularly interested in giving the government a leg up, whereas political people will in the Treasury are obviously for putting the best spin on things, and clearly in projecting it as necessary choices because things were so bad. That's an easier sell than if you say, well, actually, we have got a £4.2 billion buffer, but it's not enough, and also we want to raise welfare.
Catherine, we have the Shadow Justice Secretary available, Robert Jenrick, this morning to speak to him, and we'll come back to you very shortly.
Thanks, Catherine.
Robert Jenrick, good morning to you. Very good to see you and to
good
have
morning
you there.
And happy birthday. Everyone's talking about it here in the Westminster studios.
Well, thank you, Robert. Much appreciated. Robert, could I ask you about the Shadow Justice Secretary, David Lammy, or as he's termed in the Daily Mail today, Calamity Lammy. Is that something that you would agree with, bearing in mind the plans to scrap most jury trials, another 12 prisoners freed in error as well, and so many other criticisms against him? What would you say after yesterday's events?
Yeah, well, we laugh about Calamity Lammy because he's such a disaster and incompetence seems to follow him around. But this is actually very serious. Here you've got a right that we've enjoyed in this country to a jury trial for at least 800 years, perhaps even longer than that. It goes back to Magna Carta, being tossed aside by Keir Starmer and David Lammy because of administrative failure by the Ministry of Justice. Of course, we've got to get the backlog of cases in the courts down. It's wrong that someone is being asked to wait 4 or 5 years for a trial. Of course it is, particularly for very serious offences like rape. But you don't fix that by getting rid of this fundamental right and freedom that we've enjoyed for such a long period of time. You fix it by getting the court sitting round the clock. And you can do that. The Lady Chief Justice, who runs the whole thing, came to Parliament the other day and said that she's willing to offer the government more courtroom sitting days. They haven't taken her up on financial grounds. And at the same time, Rachel Reeves is able to find 16 billion quid out of our taxes for benefits, billions for illegal migrants who've broken into the country on small boats. It's the wrong priorities. We want a well-functioning criminal justice system, get the court backlog down, but don't wreck jury trials.
Of course, David Lammy would say that jury trials only make up about 2% of the system as it stands. He also says that if he doesn't intervene, then the justice system is going to collapse. And he referenced yesterday about 6 in 10 rape victims actually withdraw from prosecutions because they are waiting so many years for their case to go to trial. I mean, what do you say to all of that?
Look, as I say, it is completely shameful to our country that someone could be raped today and the trial of their perpetrator might take 4 or 5 years to come to court. We've got to fix that. But you don't need to scrap jury trials in order to do that. You've got to get the court sitting around the clock and you've got to do the hard yards of government. There's all sorts of failures right now. It's a paper-based system. Prisoners aren't arriving at court on time. Young people don't want to be criminal barristers because it's poorly paid. Those are the sorts of things you should be focused on. And there's a suspicion of many people that the reason why David Lammy and Keir Starmer and others want to get rid of jury trials is because fundamentally they don't trust ordinary people. There have been people on the left of British politics who've wanted to get rid of them for a very long time. Tony Blair and Jack Straw tried to do it back in the day, and now it's reared its head once again. I trust ordinary people. I think there is wisdom and common sense from 12 ordinary people, our friends, our family, our neighbours, coming together and making judgments about people. And there are sometimes rare but important occasions where you need that safety valve. And you've seen that recently. Look at the case of Jamie Michael. He was a veteran who put something on social media after the Southport attack, which he probably regretted. It was a foolish and wrong thing to do. But he was acquitted by a court in just 17 minutes. We'll never know exactly why, but I suspect the jury felt, you know what, this man served our country. He made an honest mistake. He doesn't deserve to have his life ruined. And that's the sort of occasion where you or I, everyone in this country, wants to see a jury trial continue and do the right thing.
What would you think if Rachel Reeves was subject to a jury trial? I mean, we were running a poll on the programme today, and we're quite shocked by how many people feel that basically their lives have been ruined and their savings ruined by last week's budget. 94%, was it, Ellie?
Yes, it's affected their savings plans.
94% of people think this was a bad budget. What would you say to that jury?
Well, I don't know who the 6% who thought it was a good jury, a good budget were. I mean, I've not met those people. Look, people feel poor right now. They feel like the economy is bumping along the bottom. All of the small businesses that I meet are absolutely up against it right now as a result of the rise in national insurance, business rates going up. You know, it's now going to be even more expensive to employ people, particularly young people who should be given a leg up and a first start in life. For working families, taxes are going to they're going to get sucked into the higher rates of income tax, the massive stealth tax. And what's Rachel Reeves done? She's broken her promises. She's mishandled the economy by creating all this uncertainty and constantly flying kites for every conceivable type of tax rise over the last few months. And now she asks for sympathy, despite the fact she's basically misled the public over the true state of the public finances. People have had enough of Rachel Reeves, and it's time for her to go.
David Lammy admitted yesterday that another 12 prisoners have been released in error in the past 3 weeks. He also admitted that 2 of those prisoners are still at large. I mean, accidental releases, as we've discussed before, happened under the Tories' watch. There has been a spike recently. David Lammy said yesterday that they are on their way down. But what is going on here? 12 accidental releases in the last 3 weeks. When is this fiasco going to end?
is a complete and utter shambles, and I have no confidence whatsoever in David Lammy's ability to fix it. You've got someone being mistakenly released from our prisons every other day right now. In fact, it's more often than that. David Lammy came before Parliament 3 weeks ago after the criminals were released in error from Chelmsford and Wandsworth Prison and said he was putting in place the most robust checks ever, and the problem's actually got worse. There are more people being released now in error, and he won't be honest with you about who they are, what their crimes are, and where they are right now in the country. In fact, we only know about these releases because he was asked by a journalist on the media the other day. He should be coming before Parliament and telling the public what's going on. We know that there are at least 2 manhunts right now for dangerous people. We don't know who they are or what they've been convicted of. He should be honest with the public and stop hiding what's actually happening.
OK, Robert Jenrick, Shadow Justice Secretary. Good to see you this morning, as always. Thank you very much.
Good to see you, and enjoy your birthday, Eamonn.
Well, I'm enjoying it even more now.
Thank you. A lovely time.
Thank you for your good wishes, and thank you for appearing before us today. This court is now adjourned.
Very good.
Thank you very much indeed. We've got a weather update now. Alex Burkill with that.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us still to come. Scottish Labour is to call on the government to urgently clarify its stance on whether an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland is going to be held. Charlie Peters is here with that and much more next.
Five hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Well, you compound that with the fact that across a lot of industries, AI is wiping out jobs at that entry-level stage. Like take lawyers, for example. Pretty much any job that any lawyer up to about 8 years experience can do can now be done by AI. Same goes across a lot of services. You know, there will always be bartenders, or at least until robotics takes that as well. But you compound these things, and I really do fear for the next generation of young people and the sense of purpose that they're potentially not going to have by just not having jobs.
But the minimum wage is rising for everyone, isn't it? It's because if you are going to employ people, it'll still be cheaper to employ 18 to 20-year-olds, won't it? Because they're still going to get paid less than other people. So I don't see why that's going to curb jobs for them. People still need to hire people. People still need people to do the jobs.
Yeah, it's very difficult, though. I own a small business. I employ people. And it is difficult, you know. And this is why things like the black market are being so easily fed, especially with asylum sneakers hanging about.
Asylum sneakers?
Yes, that's what we call them now.
Yeah, we announced that yesterday.
Adidas Asylum.
That's what we.
That's what
they are now. Yeah.
I got a new brand. They wear refugees. But but this is.
You not get the email about that?
I didn't know, mate.
By the way, the more you put the wages up, it just gets passed on to the customer.
Well,
if the customer can't afford to pay it because Rachel Reeves is taxing them, because the minimum wage has gone up and the business national insurance has gone up, we just hit a stalemate. This is what we've got. It's like the whole economy turns into moss.
Yeah, well, just sorry, because we don't have to whiz ourselves on, but on that note of everything else going up, food prices are apparently predicted to grow after the budget taxes as well. So for all this talk about you paying people more, well, if everything else costs more, then it doesn't really go anywhere, does it?
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Scottish Labour will urge the government today to clarify whether a grooming gang inquiry will be held and a call for a independent oversight of Police Scotland's review.
Well, this comes as Professor Alexis Jay is warning that too little is known about child sexual exploitation in Scotland and that an investigation could lead to a full public inquiry.
Well, our reporter, Charlie Peters, who's right across this grooming situation, right across the whole country, and he's there, and you have a guest with you this morning, Charlie, to talk about this.
That's right. Good morning, Eamonn and Ellie. Joined by the Labour MP for East Kilbride and Straven, Joni Reid, because this is a significant moment in Scotland for the grooming gang scandal. As we know, in June, the Prime Minister launched this inquiry across England and Wales, but Scotland's not included. There's been widespread political debate north of the border about whether a fresh inquiry will be launched there. In September, the First Minister, John Swinney, said he did not think one was necessary, and there has been some campaigning taking place up there in reaction to that, with Joni being a big part of it. Good morning, Joni Reid. Talk to me about what we're expecting from Scottish Labour this morning, taking this argument to the government in Holyrood.
So Scottish Labour have brought this debate to the Scottish Parliament, and they're demanding that the Scottish Government finally makes a decision, and they're asking them to now hold an independent inquiry into the extent of child sexual abuse and exploitation in Scotland. It comes after months of calling on the Scottish Government to do something. Their position keeps changing. So what Scottish Labour is saying is, you know, enough of putting victims through this trauma, listen to them and grant the investigation that Scotland so desperately needs.
While the government in Scotland has resisted this investigation, we have heard from some survivors, with GB News speaking to one victim known as Taylor about her experiences in Glasgow, but also the Bradford victim and campaigner Fiona Goddard. She has told us about how she was trafficked to Glasgow as well. These stories have exposed the extent to some degree of the scandal, but we've also heard from Alexis Jay this morning, the professor and social worker, saying that we don't know the full extent of the problem north of the border. Is that why you think an investigation is needed?
Yeah, we don't know the extent of the problem. We have far less understanding of the extent of the problem than you do in England and Wales. You've had the Rotherham Review, you've had the Independent Child Abuse Review run by Professor Alexis Jay, you had the Baroness Casey Review, and now you've got a national inquiry. Scotland has been subject to no such scrutiny. And as you say, we've had victim after victim after victim come out in Scotland. We've also had recent prosecutions, one in Dundee of a gang who were exploiting and raping young girls. We've had one in Glasgow. So the anecdotal evidence is that it's very much a problem in Scotland, and the Professor Alexis Jay, who is a prominent expert, in fact, the UK's leading expert on child abuse and exploitation, has been used by the Scottish Government to defend their refusal to call for an independent inquiry. Well, Professor Alexis Jay announced last night that she does indeed think that Scotland requires an independent review or investigation. So the Scottish Government's defence is just blown up in their face. So they now have to actually do something to protect and get victims justice.
And there's been some controversy about where Alexis Jay stands on this issue, because the Scottish Justice Secretary, Angela Constant, said earlier this year that Professor Jay does not want an inquiry or probe into the issue in Scotland. Talk us through how that's changed.
It's an absolute scandal, actually. The Justice Secretary spoke in the Scottish Parliament when an amendment was laid asking the government not for an independent national inquiry, but just to look into, just review the situation in Scotland. The SNP and Greens voted against it. And the justification was, from the Justice Secretary, that the UK's leading expert did not think it was necessary and not required. There was then some very secretive clarification about that, where we understood that she misrepresented Professor Alexis's views, but it was all very quiet. The Justice Secretary doubled down and said, no, I didn't misrepresent her views. But now Alexis Jay has come out herself and said Scotland needs an independent review. So it's clear to me that Angela Constance misled Parliament, doubled down on that, and this isn't over something insignificant. This is the abuse of some of our most vulnerable children and girls in Scotland. It's utterly unforgivable.
Now, we're going to have this debate in the Scottish Parliament later with Labour, the Labour group in Holyrood, saying there needs to be some clarification on what the current investigation is, what are Police Scotland doing, what's the oversight there. This is quite late for Scottish Labour to be talking about this, bringing in this concern. You are one of the very few politicians in Scotland talking about this issue. How's that been, being a Labour MP north of the border calling for this, while there's been, I sense from you, quite a lot of frustration about the rest of the country perhaps not engaging with this at the establishment level?
So the first thing I would say is Scotland has been quite slow in general. The turning point was the national inquiry in England and Wales. But it's only come to the Scottish Parliament previously once in recent years, and Scottish Labour and the Conservative Party voted for a review, an inquiry. Things are starting to shift now, not least because of the investigation that you did with Taylor, and I'm just really delighted now that people are now talking about it in Scotland. The Scottish Government has tried to say there's nothing to see here, we're exceptional in Scotland. We don't abuse our children like they do in England, which is dangerous. So we're now having that conversation, and I'm delighted that it's taken place.
OK, Jenny Reid, Labour MP for East Kilbride and Streatham, thank you very much. And Eamonn and Ellie, GB News has shown the small part of just how difficult this issue is in Scotland. Speaking to Taylor, that survivor in Glasgow, and Fiona Goddard, we've seen case studies showing that Police Scotland had failed to investigate the problem. With Alexis Jay now coming out and saying there needs to be a review and there's mounting pressure from opposition parties, I have to say, I think an audit or some form of further investigation now seems inevitable in Scotland, and not for a long time.
OK, Charlie and Joni, thank you so much for that conversation and for bringing that to us this morning. Thank you.
8:31 is the time. Thank you for your company. If you are out and about, you're looking to travel on the roads, here's what's happening.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Northbound drivers on the M73 should exercise caution after a collision post Junction 2 Byleaston. Eastbound M4 congestion is reported at Junction 33 Capel-Lanilton off-slip. The M55 eastbound in Lancashire has a lane closed between Junctions 3 and 2 due to a breakdown. A collision has closed one lane on the M5 southbound near Birmingham between the M6 and Junction 1. 2 lanes are shut on the anti-clockwise M25 between junctions 17 and 16 due to an incident. And on the trains, Great Western Railway services are disrupted between Liskeard and Loo. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Good to see you again. It's time to let you into the details of the new Great British Giveaway.
It's a goodie, isn't it? £85,000 in tax-free cash. It could all be yours. Here are all of the details that you need.
It's the big one. Your chance to win a whopping £85,000 in tax-free cash. The largest cash prize we've given away to date. That's like over £7,000 a month extra in your bank account each month for 12 whole months. That's a year of yes. Yes to holidays, yes to treats, yes to shopping trips, yes to home improvements. What would you say yes to? For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing the 9th of February 2026. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Now 'tis the season to be jolly, eating good food and celebrating.
Indeed.
And we're celebrating today because it's a certain somebody's birthday. Isn't it?
Who could that
And you're
be?
having the best day ever.
Well, I am having a good day. Thank you very much.
He's warmed up a bit now. He's enjoying all of this. Well, stay tuned because we've got another special surprise coming up.
For me?
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, DC.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air
gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Now, welcome back to breakfast. And it is, of course, the season to be jolly. And we're going to be eating lots of good food, aren't we, in the run-up to Christmas?
Yeah. And we're going to talk today. Well, yesterday we talked about preparation for the big day, and we can now talk to you about the what to do with leftover stuff and the days that follow and whatever. We have celebrity chef. We're delighted to welcome Robert Walton back into the studio. Robert, very good to see you on this. And we also had word and good reaction from Sam Holland, the chef we had on yesterday, talking about how to have a moist turkey to keep your turkey moist. And he recommended dipping it or bathing it overnight in brine water.
Brine, it was brine.
Brine, yeah, you can brine.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a route for brine or moisture. You don't want to get moisture into the turkey. What you don't want is a dry turkey.
Definitely.
But you know, so butter under the skin.
Oh,
so,
yum.
But butter under the skin.
You'd be generous with that butter, I presume.
We all love butter, proper butter.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you can also, have you ever heard of turning the turkey upside down?
Yes.
Now, you can't have...
The juices then go back.
They go to the breast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what we don't, but you don't want, like, I don't want somebody to take a 25-pound turkey and try and shove it and turn it over. And the other thing to do is you don't need a full turkey. Get a turkey crowns. Just get the turkey breast. So, but moisture and slow it. You know, like the timings are about, for a 20-pound turkey, it's about 4 to 5 hours. Now, that doesn't mean a 10-pound turkey is exactly half, by the way. So, you know, you just sort of think about, but just watch and baste as well. So if you put some little bit of moisture, but you've got your oils and your butters, baste the turkey. Just keep... The thing I always think about cooking, it's like driving. You can't just put it in and forget about it. You know, when you're driving a car, you don't go at 30 miles an hour and just keep going. You have to control it. So,
what would your tips be? Because something that was coming through to us yesterday with all the viewers was people feeling overwhelmed by a Christmas dinner. There's so many different elements, the timing of it all, bringing it all together at the same time, making sure it's hot for all of your guests.
Yeah.
What would your top tips be for bringing everything together and not to get stressed or overwhelmed
So
by
the
it all?
most important thing of all at Christmas is mise en place, preparation.
Right.
Mise en place, which is what we all do as chefs. So it's thinking about what you're going to do, get it all done. There are so many things you can do in advance. You know, you can prepare all your vegetables. You could cook them all the day before, refresh them, have them all ready. No reason why you can't put them in a microwave, do other things, you know, when you're getting ready to just serve. Because the most important thing as well, to have it hot. You don't want everything out there that's all freezing cold. You spend hours and hours cooking. You want it nice and hot. So just think about how you're going to do it and the timing of everything. That's what I would say.
And just before we get into our surprise, Robert, that we have today, just wanted to ask about something I've heard on the grapevine about you being in talks to advise a certain Meghan Markle, or the Duchess of Sussex, I should say, on her Netflix Christmas show about all of her cooking in the kitchen. Is this true?
Yeah, well, I love your questions because you somehow find out things that are tiny little sort of soupçons that are out there. So I think she needs a bit of advice, doesn't she, in how to prepare and present her cooking. And it just needs a bit of, like, maybe a bit of professionalism.
Well, you would bring the British flair, which I don't know.
We certainly bring some British flair.
You certainly would. And apparently the Christmas special, I know you'll be very excited by this, Eamonn, because it's happened on your birthday. The Christmas special from Meghan Markle has come out today on Netflix. In fact, it came out 41 minutes ago, so it's fresh off the press.
Good job, I'm busy all day.
And she's trying to introduce American audiences to Christmas crackers, which is the British tradition.
Yes.
So a time of celebration for Meghan Markle. And of course, it is a time of celebration in the studio today because it is a certain somebody's birthday. And we've got a surprise.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Eamonn. Happy birthday.
There we are. Look at that. Super. Happy birthday.
Well, such is my ignorance, I don't know if that's a bought cake or a made cake.
Did you make this, Robert?
I didn't make it. It was made by a wonderful company called Cutter and Squidge.
Thank you, Cutter and Squidge.
Looks superb.
And it's raspberry ripple. You like sponge, and you like Victoria sponge, I believe, and everything. I think it's full of everything you like.
Don't even ask me for a bit of this, OK?
Oh, we have to.
Robert, I thought we'd agreed that I was going to pretend that I'd made the whole thing. You had to come clean straight away, didn't you?
Look at that.
It is gorgeous.
Isn't it pretty?
I don't want to drop it now.
Look at that.
But that is absolutely...
How are you going to get that on the bus on the way home? I mean, really, I don't know how you're going to... We'll just have to have it.
Because we were saying it's your special birthday today. Well, you could actually get a bus pass if you wanted to.
So that's is sponge cake in there?
It's sponge cake in there and raspberry ripple.
Raspberry ripple. Oh, lovely.
And it's all beautifully creamed.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
All your favourite things.
It's amazing.
Beautiful. And Robert, just before we let you go, just tell us about what you've been up to with Gordon Ramsay, because I saw you were in America with him.
Yes, Mike, you know I run a global competition called Young Chef, Young Waiter. We're Young Mixologists, the Y brand. So one of the winning US team, the USA, were the world champions. And one of the prizes was to go to the Formula One Grand Prix in Las Vegas in Gordon Ramsay's garage. So we're with Gordon Ramsay, and the winners, the world champions, were there with Gordon Ramsay in a very, very, very special place at the F1 Grand Prix, right in the pits.
Oh, brilliant.
It was absolutely incredible, and thank you to everyone, to Gordon Ramsay and his whole team, and F1. They put it all on for us, and it was just amazing.
Oh, brilliant. Celebrating those young chefs and young mixologists and young waiters as well, so that's really
young
good.
Waiters, mixologists and chefs.
Good to see you, Robert. Thank you very much indeed for all your efforts. Really lovely. Thank you,
Thanks
Mr. Paul. I've never seen a cake sort of...
ruined so quickly. Happy birthday, my friend. Have a great day.
Thank you, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Lovely. Right, OK. Still to come, Guinness fans face a Christmas crisis as workers are going on strike. That's what happened in the House of Guinness.
It did happen. Are you watching that?
Yeah, well,
I told you to watch it and you said you wouldn't, and now you have.
I watched an episode or two.
Oh, look. He came round.
Yeah.
Right, read the next line. Come on.
We'll be discussing...
No, the one before that.
Christmas crisis as workers strike. Is it out of order?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you write that bit?
No, but I enjoyed it and I wanted you to say it. We're going to be discussing that and much more in the papers with Penny Smith and Norman Baker. But first, if you're in search of some holiday sun, and who can blame you because it is pretty miserable outside, here's the forecast across Europe.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The weather's looking quite mixed across the Mediterranean through tomorrow and much of this week. There's further heavy rain towards the east affecting Greece, Albania and other nearby nations. Could see some severe thunder, landslides, other impacts as a result because it has been so wet recently. Other areas will also see some rain at times. There will also be some drier, sunnier bursts, but it's often going to be relatively unsettled, and there is a bit more rain for many to come into the weekend.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You have the power then. Yeah, as I say, now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's very scary the way that it's heading. I think AI has so many fantastic opportunities, but that when you remove the human out of it, nasty things can happen. And I think young people are being attracted to it because it's 24 availability, there's no judgment, so there's no embarrassment, and they're getting instant responses. So when you're removing the human out of the room, things go wrong.
Is this because adults have pushed this through? We just saw Keir Starmer there on a lectern at one of the many occasions where he's wanging on about how fantastic AI is and it's going to be in all the schools, it's going to transform everything. There's never anybody in the room that puts their hand up and goes, hang on a minute, have you thought this through? Have you actually thought about the negative consequences of this? We don't do that when it comes to technology, do we? We just push it through, Colin.
We are. We're literally just pushing it through. So I think on one hand, for having AI as a companion in a school, it's fantastic because then no child technically is getting left behind because it's like a personal tutor. But no one's putting in those guardrails to say, hang on a sec, when something goes wrong, how are we alerting someone? Who do we alert? And then what do we do about it? No one's actually asking those questions. And we're moving at such a fast pace. We are sprinting when really we should be walking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about teenagers relying on AI now. You'll be seeing it, Colin. I mean, you're using. I have started to use it. I'm not denying it. I'm not a complete Luddite. I will go on if I want to come up with something creative, rather than starting with a blank page. I will go on to one of the AI sites and just ask some questions. And sometimes it just kicks you off with your creativity, or gives you some ideas which you can. But I am watching adults as well.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers with Norman Baker and Penny Smith this morning. And Norman, it's out of order.
It is out of order, and this is the Daily Star, which says that we're facing a strike in Belfast. I don't know if you know about this, Eamonn. Oh. In Belfast, where apparently low or zero Guinness is made in Belfast rather than Dublin, as I assumed it would be. And they want parity with their workers in Cheshire, in Runcorn. And so there may be a shortage of Guinness Zero, which people seem to think, can I do? It's a rather nice drink.
I love it.
It's a rather nice drink.
Love it. In fact, I think in some places they are saying it's now overtaken real Guinness, if you like. I think on online shopping it's now...
Yeah, surprisingly, I sat in the company of someone last week who was downing the Zero Guinness.
They're great.
Just saying... he's a big Guinness drinker, and he said he couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You can't. It's just a little bit less filling, I think.
It's really a nice drink.
Well, may I move on to cats? Because this story is about the fact that cats are louder with men because they have to be. It says here, they've done this study, and they looked at how cats were when people came home, and they said that when it's the bloke who comes through the door, the cats have to meow more and louder because men are noticeably less cuddly with their cats.
Other men are available.
Do you like your cats, Norman?
I like cats, yes. I used to have a lovely cat.
I just don't find them cuddly, Norman. I always think about the claws. The claws are always there, and there's teeth always there, and I find a dog much more cuddly.
Really? Well, as it's December, maybe it's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It
depends on the cat.
And it depends on how you treat them as well. Because I've had lots and lots of rescue cats, and as long as when they're really little, you don't kind of make them jump at you and everything else, and all you do is stroke and cuddle. They actually are much calmer and less...
But do they jump at other things? Do they bring things through the door?
Mine didn't.
No. I had a very intelligent cat. She used to follow me around to the shops and back again, which was rather nice. And also, when she was watching Tom and Jerry on television, she would watch the mice, and then when the mice had to be off the screen, she'd dash around the back of the television to find them.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Annie, let's stay with you, shall we? Because we're talking about this Gen Z, Gen Z.
Yeah.
Fears that office chat, they fear office chat more than AI.
I know, 68% of those aged 16 to 29 would prefer to work at home. The list of anxieties is quite high. 42% hate having to make small talk, 38% are anxious about using the phone, 30% hate getting up early, 28%, oh no, maybe I've because I've got them slightly out of thing. But anyway, they're sort of working with unknown people comes top of the list, and they don't like talking, interacting or doing any of those things. And I was thinking, you know, we're for humans.
What a sad life. I think.
Yeah.
What a sad life.
But it's a real life, Norman. I mean, increasingly, I used to sort of, to be silly, that couldn't be true. But it does seem to be true.
It does seem to be true. I've got friends who've worked with the Gen Zs, and they do find it much more challenging. I mean, I think it's a combination of, obviously, COVID didn't help, social media doesn't help, but it's this business that I find most difficult, which is that they don't ever like answering the phone because they don't like to have a conversation because they don't know what the other person might say.
They don't like asking for bills in restaurants.
No, they don't like that. They don't like... In fact, they'd prefer everything to be online, you know, so shopping. You know, they like the till where they don't interact with anybody.
They need some exposure therapy. Is that what it's called? When you just do it?
Yes, I think that's exactly right.
And you just have to face what scares you, answer the bill and answer the phone.
Yeah, and it depends what the character of the peoples are. I mean, you know, somewhere like Belfast and Northern Ireland in general, Ireland in general, very gregarious, outgoing people who like to have a conversation. And they would say, I remember when I came to London, first of all, I used to say, what about you? You all right? And people look around talking to me, sort of thing, because I didn't know them. I mean, I would just say, what about...
I know, but you see, and I'm the person who talks to randoms all the time. I go to the theatre on my own, and then I just cosy up to somebody at the interval and say, what do you think of it then? And sometimes you do get this face.
Yes.
And then they move slightly off, and I think, I was just having a chat.
I think we've lost that, though, over time.
Not all of us, but we have to keep it going. And I'm with Penny. We should just engage with conversation with strangers.
Yeah. I think it's good for us as well to be social to each other.
Can we have a look at Santa's drawers?
I want to see Santa's drawers, yes.
Santa's drawers or paganism?
Santa's drawers are coming down. Let me do that one. This is in Tiverton. And they put Christmas decorations out. It's supposed to be Christmas puddings. I think you see it on the screen. It's not a very good picture in the metro. But they're supposed to be...
Tiny.
They're supposed to be
Christmas
puddings and actually look like underwear.
Oh, they're
and people
meant to be Christmas pudding.
I know, but
they are
100% a pair of load of pants on a washing line.
It is a load of pants according to the local residents. Yes.
Paganism, Penny, it's on the rise, apparently.
Paganism is the most popular spiritual destination for Christians who convert to another faith. That is the latest information, which I thought was fascinating. So they're saying Christianity is gaining adherents, but new arrivals are outnumbered by people quitting the faith and going for paganism. And then it's got a picture of the happy solstice at Stonehenge and lots of people enjoying themselves. Yeah, they're saying 1 in 10 people who abandon Christianity take up paganism. You know, the thing about paganism, of course, is it was here before Christianity, and Christianity took over a whole lot of...
Including Easter, for example.
Including Easter and including Christmas, because actually it seems to be that Jesus was born, in fact, in April, I think, wasn't he? But they took over Christmas because that was a really big pagan ritual with lots of fun on December the 21st being the...
And some of the oldest churches are actually based on pagan sites, actually, if you go back.
Yeah, so I thought that was a rather fascinating thing.
I'm surprised by that. I would think Christians converting to another faith, it would be Islam.
I know, but they're saying that this is more than outstripping Buddhism, Islam and Judaism. You know, whenever I do touch wood, which I still do, it's one of the few sort of superstitions I do say touch wood, and that goes back to paganism and the tree spirits and asking the tree spirits, because, of course, the trees are giver of life and shade and everything.
Hugged a tree? Tree hugging?
I love a bit of tree hugging.
Do you?
I say thank you very much to plants that are doing a really good job in difficult circumstances.
Really?
Yep, I go to a buddleia, sort of poking out of a wall, and I say, well done to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently it's very good to talk to plants.
Why not? Prince Charles, as he was then, used to talk to plants regularly.
Yeah.
And I think they know, if you water plants and they kind of respond by saying thank you very much, I think so. In a way,
yeah, no,
to send a message to you.
I talk to them, I talk to everything. Actually, I talk to bees. Sometimes there just aren't people around to talk to, so I just make do with what I've got.
Bees instead. Would you ever hug a tree, Norman?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it, if it's a very big tree. If it's a small tree, it's a bit silly. If it's a big tree, you can't really get your hands around it.
Apparently it's very good. I've never done it, but...
No, it's lovely. And tree
nice.
bathing, as they call it, which is essentially just what I do all the time, which is going for a walk amongst the trees.
I think walking amongst trees is actually gorgeous. It's a lovely thing to do, walking in a wood.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colours.
And also, I remember at primary school being taught that you could tell which way you were going, because the north side is the side with the green growing on it from the... which is always quite useful. So trees, thank you.
I was taught that.
You too. Sorry, Norman, I've got to cut across because we're out of time. Thanks for coming in, my friend. We'll see you again soon.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you, Britain, for helping us reach 8 million followers across social media. Thank you for making us a part of your daily life.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M73 is restricted northbound after junction 2, Byleaston, due to a road traffic collision. In Cheshire East, the M56 eastbound entry slip at junction 7 has one lane closed after a collision, causing a 15-minute delay. In Hertfordshire, 2 lanes are closed between junctions 17 and 16 on the M25 anti-clockwise due to an incident. The M4 eastbound exit slip at junction 19 in South Gloucestershire has one lane closed due to a broken down vehicle. Similarly, on the M27 westbound in Hampshire, a broken vehicle leaves one lane closed. And on the trains, there's disruption on Great Western Railway between Liscard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's the big one. Your chance to win a whopping £85,000 in tax-free cash. The largest cash prize we've given away to date. That's like over £7,000 a month extra in your bank account each month for 12 whole months. That's a year of yes. Yes to holidays, yes to treats, yes to shopping trips, yes to home improvements. For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Russia warns Europe that they are ready for war.
President Putin's message came just hours before peace talks with America's envoys.
Well, the Ukrainian President Zelensky says there are no easy solutions and is counting on Europe and the US to bring an end to the conflict.
The Chancellor has been hit by a parliamentary rural rebellion over inheritance tax on farmers.
Elsewhere, a parliamentary inquiry says systematic failures led to the Chinese spy case collapsing, and they say there's a risk that this could be repeated.
Scottish Labour is to call on the government to urgently clarify its stance on whether an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland will be held.
There's some winter sunshine for many of us today, but also a few showers, particularly towards the north and west, with a bit of rain arriving later. Stick around to find out the details.
Very good to see you on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for your company. We're with you until 9:25. I hope you will be too. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Ellie Costello. This is GB News Breakfast. A lovely birthday message here for you, Eamonn, from Dave. He's been in touch saying, "Happy birthday, Eamonn. It's so great getting up in the morning with what feels like my family friends."
It's not so great for us, but anyway, I'm glad. As long as you enjoy it, it's all very good.
Oh dear, very good, very good.
So,
and you are enjoying your birthday now, aren't you? Because you weren't too sure at 6 o'clock, but now you're enjoying it.
That cake that I got there was excellent. And
he won't share it with anyone. Can I just tell you what happened? That was so funny.
I remember the knife and people with paper plates and things. I thought it was so beautiful looking. I thought, just pack that up. I'll bring that home.
Yeah, 2 producers just came in. One of them had a knife and the other one had a big stack of plates all ready to go to cut up the cake and share it with everyone. And you said, "Leave. Take it." You're taking the cake home, aren't you?
I am.
You're not going to share it with anyone.
It was a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful cake. I've had it.
Well, you have to tell us if it tastes nice.
Yeah, if it's
because you won't share it with us. Yeah, no, you have to tell us if it's nice.
You trust me, it'll taste nice.
Okay, well, let us know.
It'll be okay. 2 minutes past 9 o'clock. Question: could we see a rural rebellion all because of the budget?
Labour MPs have urged the government to reconsider its plans to impose inheritance tax on farmers. That's despite the House of Commons voting in support of the proposal yesterday.
Well, GB News chief political correspondent Catherine Forster is back in the studio with us to tell us more on this story. Good morning, Catherine.
Yes, good morning. Well, a mini mutiny from some Labour MPs who have rural seats, because in the general election last year, dozens of Labour MPs got seats that are rural, that often have never been Labour before. And of course, we've seen absolute uproar over the proposed changes to, or the family farms tax, as it's being called. So dozens of them actually abstained on this vote. One backbencher voted against it and talked about the consequences, particularly for elderly farmers who maybe don't have 7 years or more to live and therefore can't pass on all their assets 7 years ahead of their death free of inheritance tax. We've already seen very sadly, a suicide about this, and these changes will come in next April. Many concerns that there will potentially be more death. So real pressure on the government. We've seen the tractors in Westminster time after time. There were protests on the day of the budget. But at the moment, of course, the government's got a huge majority. So sure, dozens of Labour MPs abstained, but the government at the moment does not seem to be listening. The NFU saying that they have got proposals that would bring in the money desired without what they say wiping out lots of family farms.
But we've seen before, haven't we, the Labour backbenchers are very powerful. They can get the government to rethink. Do you think Rachel Reeves potentially will have to rethink this? Because there does seem to be this growing unease about this inheritance tax on farmers, especially because we've been talking this morning about threats from Russia. I mean, this is our food security we are talking about, and food on our tables.
Yes, food security, national security, these things are very, very important. And so we've seen the placards, no farmers, no food. There is talk of them literally going on strike. I mean, it seems unthinkable, but I think they're increasingly thinking, what do we have to do to get the government to move? Now, the government would say, look, you know, this is 20% that farmers will have to pay over, you know, combined 3 million if there's a couple, and that it's paid over 10 years and that it's half the rate that other people pay. But many farmers are asset rich, but cash poor, and they don't necessarily have those large sums of money. But will the government change It's very hard to see at the moment because these protests have been going on now for well over a year. There were suggested changes coming about a year ago and they didn't happen. So I really don't know, but what's clear is the...
I'll tell you what has happened, Catherine. We have the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, who's standing by to talk to us. Health Secretary, good morning to you.
Good morning.
A nice day it looks at Westminster there today. Mightn't have been too nice there last night talking about farmers and various things, but doctors, it's your job to talk about, Wes. I feel for you here that this strike seems to have come out of nowhere. The rest of us who are not into all of these things thought the docs, that was all settled. But no, how bad is it, and how do you think you're going to be able to settle it?
Well, in previous rounds of strike action under this government, the NHS, its leadership and frontline staff have done a valiant job in keeping the show on the road. In fact, the last round of strikes, we managed to maintain 95% of planned care to cut waiting lists. So that was a remarkable achievement, and I'm hugely grateful. But in terms of this upcoming strike action, this is a different order of magnitude of risk. It is unnecessary. Resident doctors have had a 28.9% pay rise, the highest in the public sector 2 years on the trot. And I suspect there aren't many people watching this morning who've had a 28.9% pay rise. So I think it's completely unreasonable for the doctors to be threatening strike action. It's also unnecessary. We want to work with them on things like increasing the number of jobs and training places and their working conditions. So they've got a government that wants to work with them. It's also irresponsible. I mean, striking at any time is holding back the progress that we've otherwise been making in the NHS. But at this time of year, with all of the pressures we're seeing, especially in urgent and emergency care, it is particularly irresponsible and self-serving. And that's why I'll do everything I can to avert strike action in the coming weeks, but I'm also preparing for the worst.
With the benefit of hindsight, Mr. Streeting, do you regret or perhaps wished that you'd settled differently with the junior doctors, the resident doctors, a year ago? I mean, you very quickly settled and gave them 22% without any productivity agreement in place. And many would say, well, it's no surprise that they came back for more. You've opened Pandora's box and now you're struggling to put the lid back on, and patients are now facing an absolute nightmare before Christmas.
I did that deal because I thought it was the right thing to do, and I think that these are early career doctors who are feeling particular pressures in their careers and their lives, and I wanted to make progress as quickly as I could. I do think the BMA have been behaving generally as like they're juvenile delinquents, and it's not just on this. On general practice, we have rolled out online access to almost every GP practice in the country, 98.7%. You would think, listening to the BMA, that doctors are up in arms about this and absolutely furious, when actually they've embraced this and are working with us to do it. And this should be good news. And I think the BMA are doing a real disservice to their members, because they could be out there today saying, we're rolling out online access. Patient satisfaction has risen from 60% when we came into office to 75% with access to general practice. That is a remarkable achievement in a relatively short space of time, and a real credit to GPs. Instead, the BMA are complaining about it, and I think doing a disservice to their members in the process. So lots done, but when, you know, if 75% are satisfied, that means a quarter are not. So I'll be the first to say lots done, but also lots more to do. But GPs are working with us. I wish the BMA would follow their example.
Can I ask you about this pharmaceutical deal with the US? Lots of concern about this. The idea is British drugs tariff-free over to the US for the next 3 years. What does this mean for NHS patients, though? Because we're hearing figures of £6 billion this is going to cost the NHS. This is going to come away from frontline services, isn't it?
No, I don't recognise those figures. I think they're wildly inaccurate. We've got a really good deal with the United States, better than anyone else has got, and those 0% tariffs are really good for British life sciences and exports. Also will help us to get access to latest medicines faster.
But we're going to pay a lot more for them, aren't we?
And on NHS terms. We'd be paying a lot more if we did not have this deal through tariffs, and we'd be paying a lot more in terms of the opportunity costs for UK life science. In fact, just off the back of this deal, we've already had a £500 million investment announced from Bristol Myers Squibb, one of the big US pharma companies, as a result of this deal. There will be more to come. And life sciences is one of our great strengths as a country. We should be really proud. We punch above our weight in the world because of the quality of British science, our universities, our commercial life sciences sector and our NHS. We are up there with huge countries and markets like the United States and China. I want to protect and build that position. I think this deal is good for growth and great for patients, and at no point will we be cutting NHS services to fund the pharma deal. This will be good for growth, and we can invest the proceeds of growth into the NHS. And by the way, spending on medicines isn't some dead weight cost at the expense of patients. Investing in latest medicines is how we get better care for patients. So this is an investment, not simply a cost.
Can we talk about inheritance tax on farmers? That vote did pass last night in the House of Commons, but it was described as a mini mutiny because dozens of Labour MPs abstained from that vote. In fact, one Labour MP voted against it. There is this growing unease among Labour MPs, and there's no surprise, is there? We're talking about Putin this morning, saying he's ready for war. We're in a dangerous world, and what is more important than our food security? Does the government need to rethink this? Is there a civil war here brewing in Labour?
Well, we're keeping an eye on the situation with farmers, and that's one of the reasons why, from the announcement last year for farmers, the Chancellor has already made some improvements to the package, which were broadly welcomed. But look, I know there's a lot of anxiety about it, and what you've seen in Parliament is Labour MPs speaking up for their constituents in rural communities that we are proud to represent. And we will obviously continue to engage with the FBU and others. There is enormous investment going into farming as a result of decisions the government has taken. But you're right, this is part of our, not just the bread and butter of rural communities. This is part of our national fabric. This is part of our national resilience. And domestic food production and supply is really important from a national resilience and security perspective. So we're keeping all of those issues in mind as we're making decisions. I'm sure this debate will rumble on, and we will be actively engaged in it.
Health Secretary, thanks for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. We've got to move on.
Thanks a lot.
So much to you. Thank you.
Thanks for making time for us, Mr. Streeting. Thank you. Well, just a reminder that you can get involved throughout the programme, gbnews.com/you'll-say. There's also a new way of getting involved. You can become our friend, a friend of GB News for free. And if you do that, you can take part in our You Decide polls. Yeah. And this is our question today.
Well, you're not a friend of the budget. That's what we've established for that so far. Has the budget damaged your savings plans? 94% there of you saying yes, they have. Only 6% saying no, things are okay with me. But people, by and large, just feel hard done by the budget. So thank you very much indeed for taking part in that. Unless you want to change the balance of that vote, let us know and get in touch.
Yep.
And you can also have your say on the programme as well. Oh, I don't think that's anything to do with...
that's our next thing we're talking about, which is the Great British Giveaway, the brand new Great British Giveaway. Your chance to win £85,000 in tax-free cash, and it could all be yours in the new year. Here are all of the details that you need.
It's the greatest cash prize of the Great British Giveaway so far. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like, making 2026 your greatest year to date. That could get you that brand new car, extend and improve your home, take you away on that bucket list holiday, or just give you some peace of mind over the coming months. For a chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing the 9th of February 2026. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Still to come with us this morning, Scottish Labour has urged the government to clarify whether or not grooming gang inquiry will take place, will be held in Scotland. Charlie Peters, as you know, our man right across this story, he has more after this.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, this Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back to GB News Breakfast. So many of you are getting in touch with lovely comments for Eamonn for his birthday today. He's having a lovely time. Sarah says, wishing you a very happy birthday, Eamonn, and all good wishes for the year ahead.
You, Sarah, thank you very much.
Anthony says, happy birthday, Eamonn. You have your cake and eat it today. GB News is the best morning TV in the world.
In the world. Certainly it is in Britain as regards a news channel, and it all begins with us from 6 o'clock in the morning right through. So thank you very much for your loyalty and for your support with all of that. Now, Scottish Labour will urge the government today to clarify whether a grooming gang inquiry will be held and call for an independent oversight of Police Scotland's review.
Well, let's speak now to our national reporter, Charlie Peters. Morning to you, Charlie. What can you tell us?
Well, quite a significant update overnight, which is that Professor Alexis Jay, who's one of the leading authorities on this issue around the country, has now also said that there needs to be an inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland. And that's particularly controversial for the Scottish Government because Angela Constance, who's the Justice Secretary, had said in Parliament in Holyrood earlier this year that Alexis Jay's position was the opposite, that she didn't think a further inquiry was required. So for Alexis J to come out publicly now, she clearly feels the need, it seems, to set the record straight.
Well,
and we're going to have...
I'd like you to set the record straight, or at least give me a gut reaction on this one. When you came across this story and you talk about the northwest of England, and there's the northeast of England, do you really believe, which I know you won't, that this didn't take place in the southeast of England, the southwest of England, the south of England, the north of England, the north of Scotland, Northern Ireland, everywhere, Wales, this is happening everywhere. And for anybody in authority to try and pretend it doesn't is absolutely mad.
Yeah, and I think, there's obviously been a lot of coverage of this issue for the last 15 years, but the role that GB News has had to play is to show it's a truly nationwide issue. And Scotland, unfortunately, has often been left out of that conversation, which is why we were very keen to interview a lady last month called Taylor, not her real name, sort of exposing her ordeal in Glasgow. Yeah. Others in Scotland have chased that up. We've had further updates as well. It seems that the Scottish establishment is now waking up to this more broadly. We heard from Joni Reid, Labour MP for East Kilbride and Strathern, in the last hour, saying that actually there's been this sense of Scottish exceptionalism for a lot of people in the Scottish government and wider establishment to say, actually, that's an English problem. It doesn't happen here. And that's been one of the messages coming out, I think, from the Scottish government itself, from the SNP.
Why would they do that? Well, this happens absolutely everywhere.
But they didn't have people like Taylor speaking out. And because we were able to put those voices at the forefront and to force ministers like John Swinney, the First Minister, to react to those concerns. And journalists in Scotland have started to put on that pressure following our report. They now can't run away from this, in particular with the added pressure of Alexis J. I have to say, it now does feel inevitable that they will have to call for some form of audit or inquiry.
Would they, when they do that audit, would it necessarily be the same social background that we're talking about? Would it be these Pakistani men that we're talking about? Or can it be anybody now?
Well, we've seen in Dundee there was a prosecution successfully early this year of a Romanian gang. There were other gangs in Glasgow in the last decade.
Not Pakistan.
Well, they came from a range of backgrounds, but with Pakistanis among them, the ethnicity that has been overrepresented in many of these forms of abuse in England. That does seem to be the case in Scotland as well, based on the information we've gathered. Looking through some files we saw earlier this year, we know that 46 children were part of an investigation, and one of the women in that case, she said her abusers were Pakistani men. We'll see if the Scottish Government will launch that investigation now to get to the bottom of it.
Well, we'll see how all of this develops and moves on. Charlie, once again, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for all of your hard work on this. Thank you. Now, Britain's Newsroom coming up at 9:30. Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates are here to tell us all about it. Morning, you two.
Good morning.
What have you got for us?
Well, we've got an interesting story in the Financial Times and the Mail today saying that Reform, Farage, told donors that he would perhaps do a deal with the Tories. Now, he denies it, but an interesting idea.
Yeah, so we're talking to Andrea Jenkins, Dame Andrea Jenkins, one of Reform's elected mayors. And she may, as a former Tory MP, have a view on it.
Well,
and you as a former Tory MP might have a view on it too.
You'll find out after the weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, I'm here with your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of bright, if not sunny weather around for many of us, although there will be a fair few showers towards northern and western parts in particular. Also some southern southeastern counties seeing a few showers pushing through at times, but across central and eastern areas a lot of dry, bright, sunny weather to be had. Like I said, a fair few showers towards the north and west. Some of them could be a little bit on the heavy side, and worth bearing in mind, whilst winds will be a little bit lighter than yesterday, still a bit of a breeze towards the north and west as well. Temperatures are around average for the time of year, most places getting into high single figures or just about low double digits towards the south. As we go through the end of the day, not a huge amount changes for many places across eastern parts of Scotland, away from the Northern Isles, staying fine with some clear skies to start the night. Showery bursts of rain though across more western parts of Scotland, and a few showers for Northern Ireland, and here it is going to quite quickly turn cloudy and wet as a front makes its way in as we go through the end of the day. A few showers around some western and also southern coastal parts of England and Wales, but more central and eastern parts of England actually staying largely fine, like it will have been through the daytime. That front in the west that I mentioned marches its way across Northern Ireland, then pushes its way eastwards across England, Wales and Scotland as we go overnight. It could be quite heavy as it pushes through, and there will be some strong winds with it as well. Further east, clinging on to the dry weather, could be a touch of frost here, and also further west, a late frost possible as clearer skies come in behind that front. That front then does mean it's going to be a bit of a wet start across much of Scotland and down the eastern side of England as well, but eventually it clears away towards the east. Something a bit drier, brighter following in behind, but also a few showers pushing in, and some of these showers could be heavy. There could even be some rumbles of thunder and a bit of hail mixed in as well. Temperatures generally similar to today, so around what you'd expect for the time of year. Bye-bye.